Move that there. Let's wait for it to say we're good, and yes, sir, we are on. Hey guys, how you going? So down BKR Sport. Happy ANZAC Day. God bless our beautiful country of Australia. God bless the beautiful country of New Zealand. What an absolutely amazing day to commemorate, our two beautiful countries in a really unfortunate time in history, man. So, it means a lot to us. It really brings us all together. It represents who we are as two incredible nations, man. So I hope you guys have an incredible ANZAC Day because they died so that we could have amazing days and live an amazing life, man. So I really appreciate days like this, despite the fact that I am in India, where no one knows what this is, but I'm looking forward to enjoying some rugby league with you guys today, as we've got three big games, man. We've got three big games. We had a massive game last night between the Brisbane Broncos and the Canterbury Bulldogs that just shocked the NRL community, man. There's so much entertainment. It's so enjoyable right now, rugby league, despite what maybe some people like to say in regards to the quality apparently dipping. Don't know about that one, but look, I'm looking forward to these games today, and there is a lot of history, especially in this game here, that really kind of goes back quite a few years. So let's get into the game today for the Sydney Roosters taking on the St. George Illawarra Dragons. Obviously, guys, hit that like button. Subscribe if you're new around here. The game does start in 15 minutes time, so let's get rocking. The Roosters, they come into this game from 16th position. The Dragons come to this game from 7th position. This is at Allianz Stadium in Sydney. The ins here for the Roosters, Angus Crichton, Billy Smith, Egan Butcher, and Ethan King, with the outs being Chad Townsend, Dom Young, Nat Butcher, and Taylor Lasalu. So, obviously Dom Young is... I would actually say that Nat Butcher is the biggest out of those four there. I don't know what's happened with Dom Young. I don't know if it's an injury or not, but also, I haven't been able to keep up to date with it enough. I would not be surprised if he's been dropped for his defense. I'm throwing that out there. I would not be surprised if that is a dropping. You guys can let me know in the chat if that is correct or not. That'd be pretty cool though if I if I did get that educated guess right, because I have not been able to keep up to date with that. But yeah, his defense has been really poor. He's great on the attack. He's just got a lot to work on defensively, so it wouldn't surprise me in that regards to that one. But Angus Crichton and Billy Smith are both massive ins there. The fullback is James Tedesco, who's the captain, with the wingers being Daniel Tupou and Mark Nawaqanitawase. He shifts out to the wing, which is good to see. And then you've got the centers of Robert Toya and Billy Smith. The 5'8" is Sandon Smith. The halfback is Hugo Savala. The front row forwards, the props, Spencer Leniu and Nafahu White. Number 9, Connor Watson. Back row is Angus Crichton and Siwa Wong, with Victor Radley as the 13. Go to the interchange, Zach Docker-Clay, Celeste Focchetti, Blake Steep and Egan Butcher, with Ethan King as the 18th man replacement and Trent Robinson as the coach. This Roosters team is really confusing this year. They are really confusing. They are currently in second. No, sorry, gee whiz. They are currently in last. I forgot that with the Eels having the bye, the 2 points is actually given to the team at the very start of the first game. So currently, the Roosters are in dead smack last, which is crazy to think about, especially considering the Panthers are in second last. If the Roosters were to win this game, we'll get into the ladder in a second, but the Roosters were to win this game, it would put the Panthers into last. But look, this Roosters team is so damn well confusing, man. They've had a very up and down season where they've had some big surprise results, but they've also lost some games that they would have just expected a win, with considering the stature of their club, right? They started off their season losing 50-14 to the Broncos, who have also been inconsistent. They've beat the Panthers in a very surprising one there, despite, well, at the time it was very surprising. Now it's not very surprising, but they won 38-32 at CommBank Stadium. Then they lost 14-6 to the Warriors. They lost 30-12 to the Titans. They lost 20-14 to the Rabbitohs, and then went and beat the Broncos. And this is what I'm saying, that inconsistency. The Broncos won 50-14 or whatever in round 1, and then the Roosters beat them 26-16 in round 6, and that was at Suncorp Stadium. So the inconsistency there for both teams is crazy. And then last week got absolutely humiliated by the Panthers 40-12. I did think that there was some really controversial decisions and calls in that game that really adjusted the momentum in the Panthers' favour, but also the Roosters just simply weren't good enough. So, you look at those results and you go, I don't know what this Roosters team is. There's a reason they're in last, but also I wouldn't say that normally you would be looking at that and thinking necessarily last place. Yeah, they've lost quite a few games, but by this time, usually the team who's in last has only won the one game. There's 5 teams that have only won 2 games, but they're all on 2 games, whilst there's every team has won at least 2 games, which is actually really impressive by this point of the season. It doesn't normally happen, man. It's not impressive, sorry. I should really clarify those words. It's not really impressive, but it's impressive on the scale of the competition this year that anyone can win on any given day. And people say that over previous years, but this year I really emphasise that, man. I really emphasise that. So, look, the Roosters are a tough team to read. Their halves are the biggest issue in Hugo Savala and Sandon Smith, but Savala was good in his first game. He was okay. He was not great last week. But, you know, those halves are going to give you a bit of a concern. And defensively, they are a massive concern this year. The guys that they do have that is experienced, they're just kind of looking a bit shaky. Besides maybe James Tedesco. Tedesco's still been solid. Nothing spectacular. But, for example, when I watched my Titans game when we beat them 30-12 or whatever it was, he still killed it. He still killed the Titans. So Tedesco's still Tedesco, but I really don't know how to read this Roosters team this year. The Dragons, on the other hand, Emre Gula and Loko Pasifiki Tonga, they come in with the outs being Hamish Stewart and Matthew Fianai. So not a great deal of change there. Like, no, and nothing significant to kind of write home about and say, oh, well, this is a win, this is a loss based off of like a big play going out. And that's no disrespect to Hamish Stewart and Matthew Fianai, and there's no disrespect to Emre Gula or Loko Pasifiki Tonga. But the point is they're not like big names that should adjust this game. The fullback is Clinton Gutherson, who is the captain, with the wingers being Tyrell Sloan and Sione Finau. The centers are Moses Sully and Valentine Holmes. You got the 5'8", Carl Flanagan, and the halfback is Lachlan Ilias. The front row forwards are Toby Couchman and David Clemmer, with the number 9 being Damien Cook. We go to the back row, Jaden Sewer and Dylan Egan. The 13 is Jack DeBellin, with the interchange being Lucian Leilua, Jacob Little, Blake Laurie, and Emre Gula. And the 18th man replacement is Loko Pacific Tonga. And even though it doesn't have it here, it is Shane Flanagan as the coach. I don't know why NRL.com just like frequently go in and out, shake it all about in regards to showing off who the coach is. The Trent's there, Shane's not. This Dragons team is also incredibly inconsistent, but I think they're more consistent on a positive level than a negative level. Like, they have the ability to grind out the results this year on a bigger level compared to the Roosters. But with that being said, you know, they're in 7th position, but they've had 3 wins, right? So they're 3 wins and 3 lost with a bye. So they're only 1 win away. Like, you go up to the Dragons, who are in 7th position. 7th. They're only 1 win above last position. But it's just obviously given them the bye as well, so that's why they're 4 points above. So it tells you a lot, again, about this competition. I don't know who to tip here today. I really don't. But I will take the Dragons on the favourite basis, but that's not something you should be taking this year. You are seeing more upsets and more surprise results than you are seeing favourites win this year. So be super careful tipping this game. But I do love that Angus... Oh, dude, I just feel... I've got like a gut feeling that, like, and I tipped the Roosters for 4th last at the beginning of the season. Pre-season, I tipped them for 4th last. I tipped the Dragons for 8th position, which was a lot higher than other people gave them credit for. I thought that they would just be able to sneak into the finals. So based off of that, I really should be tipping the Dragons. But I just think this season has been so wild, so crazy, so all over the shop, that I'm getting a gut feeling the Roosters win here. So I'm just going to go for it and say them. But look, the Dragons are favourites for a reason. But the favourites for a reason doesn't mean shit in 2025. So for that, I'm going to have a bit of a laugh. We'll go the Roosters just because I do still like the guys like James Tedesco, Angus Crichton coming back into the team. You know, they've got a tough work in Victor Radley. It's an ANZAC Day game. A lot of history here. The Roosters need to get off last position. I don't know. I just feel like they'll be up for this one. But both teams have concerns in the halves. I would say there is more concerns in the halves of the Dragons of Flanagan and Ilias than there is in Sandon Smith and Hugo Savala. And I think it was Flanagan who came out, Kyle Flanagan came out and said, oh, keep thinking we're the worst halves pairing in the comp and we'll keep proving you wrong or whatever. It's like, look, you're still very good players, but the criticism is absolutely valid. That doesn't mean that, you know, we think that you are bad players, like not better than us. You're way better than everybody else, but at the end of the day, comparatively to other halves combos and other halves pairings, you're not looking at that and getting a little bit too scared. You are still in 7th position. You do have a big potential drop off here. You do have a potential to go into the top 4. You know, that's all great, but it's also the very beginning part of the season with 7 rounds gone. This is the 8th round where this is like a third of the way through now, basically. So it's like, the Dragons halves are, unfortunately, a bottom 4 halves pairing, right? And that, I don't know if I can say that's a fact. It's a strong opinion based off of statistics and the way they play. But that doesn't mean I don't think the Dragons can get enough wins this year to finish in 8th position, which is why I tipped them there. But I am going to go for the Roosters. Well, not go for the Roosters, but I'm going to tip the Roosters today in an upset. It's ANZAC Day, man. It's one of those big days where anything can happen. The only thing that is a guarantee is the Rabbitohs losing, because they never, ever beat the Storm at Amy Park. They've never won. They've never won at Amy Park, and that's later on today. We've got the Warriors Knights after this, and then we've also got the Melbourne Storm versus the Rabbitohs right after that. Now, quickly, let's get into the ladder. They are doing the ANZAC ceremony right now, so it's kind of good that we're able to run through this while they're doing all that. We go into the ladder. Now, you do have to start considering the ladder at this point of the season, but not like, don't take it too seriously. Don't really care too much, but start to keep an eye on where you're situated and whatnot. It does start to mean something over these next couple of rounds. It really starts to kick home about round 15 or so. But the Roosters, they're in 17th position. They're on 4 points, equal with the Panthers. Now, like I said, the Eels had the bye. So they were on 4, they were last, and they jumped up into 15th position. So the Roosters have now dropped into dead smack last, equal with the Panthers. The Roosters have a minus 80 points differential. The Panthers have a minus 10 points differential. So if the Roosters win this game, they would go above Manly, but obviously the Panthers play Manly, I think, tomorrow after the Titans game. So the Roosters would go above the Panthers for now. They would also go back above the Eels because the Eels have a minus 107 points differential, which is absolutely dreadful. The Roosters would have to win by 20 points to go above the Knights, but then again, the Knights play later on today. So if the Knights were to win that game, obviously they'd go back above. If they were to lose that game by, say, 10 points and the Roosters win by 10 points, the Roosters can actually jump above them into 4th last, but they would have to win by 44 points today to go above the Titans, who are on minus 36. And then don't even worry about the Tigers on plus 12 and plus 20 for Manly and all that kind of jazz. So the highest the Roosters realistically are going to be finishing this round is 14th. I would probably put them into, based off of my tips, I'd put them into 15th because I think the Knights will probably lose to the Warriors. I do think maybe the Panthers beat Manly. I don't know that game. That's a really tough one. So either 16th or 15th, but I'll probably lean towards that 15th marker there. And then on the other side, you've got the St. George Illawarra Dragons in a really kind of middle of the table position where they can go massively up and massively down. The Dragons are on 8 points, equal with the Rabbitohs, equal with the Cowboys, and also equal with the Cronulla Sharks. They have a plus 20 points differential, which is okay. You know, like it's better than the Warriors on minus 18, who are above them, but it's okay. You've still got a lot of better teams with better points differentials and whatnot. If they were to win this game, they would go above the Sharks for now. The Sharks play the Tigers on Sunday, and they would go equal with the Warriors, the Raiders, the Storm, and the Broncos. And the Broncos did obviously play yesterday, so that their result is solidified. But they'd have to win by 60 to go above the Broncos, which is just probably not going to be happening. The Storm, they play the Rabbitohs later on tonight, but they would also have to win by like 50 odd to even think about going above them. And then you look at the Raiders, who are on plus 46. They'd have to win by 26 points to go above the Raiders there. I just doubt it. And the Dolphins are going to be a tough ask as well when they play on Sunday as well. And then it comes down to that Warriors game. But they would go above the Warriors for now because the Warriors are on minus 18. It's just the Warriors, if they win their game, they would go to 12 away from them. So they can push themselves up into that top 4. They'll probably push themselves up into 5th. I don't see them winning by 26 points or more to go above the Raiders. But if they won by, say, 14 points and the Raiders lost by 12 to the Dolphins, there you go. You know, how you going? Then you can go above them. If you lose this game, however, though, you're not going to, unless you lose by 56, you're not going below the Rabbitohs today, who are on minus 36, and the Cowboys are on minus 42. But obviously the Rabbitohs can jump them. The Cowboys also can jump them with a win over the Titans. The Dolphins with a plus 28. If they were to win against the Raiders, they would jump them. Manly with a plus 20. They play the Panthers. If they were to win, they would go above the Dragons as well. And the Tigers would have a chance as well. The Titans don't really have enough opportunity with the points differential unless the Dragons were to get pumped by 20 and the Titans won by 36. Then sure, the Titans could do it, but the Knights, their points differential is worse than an Ash trying to motorbike, mate. So there you go. That's kind of the ladder there. I'd say the Dragons, if they were to lose this game, probably finish off the weekend in about 9th, 10th. If they win this game, they'd probably finish off in 5th. Whilst the Roosters, they win this game, I've got them in 15th. If they lose this game, they will be in numero uno on the flip side of the table, last place. But guys, obviously hit that like button and subscribe. They're doing the national anthem now. Fire it up. Let me know your thoughts in the chat. Think about the thoughts of the game. Get around it. Hit that thumbs up button, subscribe, and let's get into it. Move this bad boy across. Oh no. Oh no. I seen someone say bit harsh, Jay, mate. What do you say? Oh no. Oh no. Hold on. My son Brendan, Annette said, my son Brendan was cremated in his Roosters jersey. He was 35 years old when he passed away. God bless his son, Annette. God bless his son. I hope he's alright. Well, I'm not. Well, he's obviously not alright, but God bless him. I hope he's. Okay. Dazmate says, quote of the day: "Tails never fails." Tails never fails. What are you talking about, Daz? What's going on here? What's going on? Hold on. I'm gonna send a message. Quote of the day: "Tails never fail." Oh, I get you now. Oh, yeah, sorry, I got you. Hold on. I sent you a message, Joe. Nate J says, lest we forget, come on Dragons. I sent you a message, Joe, on Facebook. Hadahoni says, Roosters Warriors Storm. Brett Neslick says, I got Tupou and Gutho for sneaky multi today. Daniel Tupou and Gutho, yeah, I like it. There was a really good game. Recently. Between the Roosters and Dragons on NZAC Day. Was it last year? No, it wasn't. That was like a 50-point flogging. I think it might have been the year before that. I think Lomax missed quite a few kicks, and the Roosters ended up winning the game like 29-28 or something ridiculous. It was a great game. I remember that. These games usually are pretty good. Last year's, I don't think was. Because the Titans won 27-24, and then I didn't really watch the Roosters-Dragons game, but I think the Roosters put 50 past the Dragons, and then the Storm also put 50 past the Rabbitohs. So I remember that, yeah. So it wasn't great games last year. Robbo says, up the Dragons. Steph Rice says, last time I saw a ladder this close was 2018. 2018? Roosters won the comp pretty convincingly that year. I can't really remember. 2018, let me go have a look at the ladder. I do trust your word, though, to be fair. I do trust your word. 2018. Damn, the Dragons were on top of the table in round 8 in 2018. Round 25. So the ladder finished up with... damn, yeah, that is that close ladder. Yeah, that's right. But then again, like, it wasn't close between the top 8 and the bottom 8. It was... So, first place to fourth place was 34 points, and fifth place to eighth place was 32 points. But it was a 6-point drop-off to the Tigers, and then it was a 4-point drop-off to the Raiders. So, it was... and it's not a surprise that you see the Eels down there in... last position, man. Dear me, nothing's much changed from 2018. Hey, a lot happened in between, but nothing much changed overall on the ladder in on the two sides there. Ben says, Poppy's up for Anzac Day. It's a rose emoji because I didn't find a Poppy one. Yeah, well, it's good enough. You know, it's still representing. Make sure you forget the scoreboard. Thank you, Jay. Thank you, Jay. Yeah, no, I get you, Jay. Like, you know me when I still like to read and see the comment just to see if it's like a troll towards me or whatnot. And sometimes I'll read it, sometimes I won't. But, you know, yeah, it's a bit kind of full on. Let me just change this time here because Jay did actually forget to tell me. He was just reminding me too late. You know, it's really it's disrespectful at this point, to be completely honest with you. So let me just update this to Bris Vegas time. There we go. And they are about to start. They're about to kick off. Refresh this. And there we go, mate. There we go. We're fired up now. Nadja says, I didn't realize you said it twice, but all is fair in love and war. United Sucks says, the favourites because they will most likely win. Is that right? Because I would say the Broncos would disagree with that last night. I would also say that the Eels would disagree with that against the Tigers. I would say the Titans disagree with that on every time we win, which is occasionally. By the way, Dave Trav, yeah, no, it was awesome yesterday. Yeah, 10,000 views, and it was a big stream that we had. We hit the old 10Ks. A lot of people watching on as the Dogs got a little bit of a touch-up. A lot of people watching on as the Dogs got a little bit of a touch-up, so I saw your comment. Appreciate you, man. Dasmo says, also been on the Pistons about the second minute of last night. Well, that's the Australian way, mate. Australian-New Zealand way. But the game has kicked off. It'll be the Dragons kicking off to the Roosters. Tupou gives it to Spencer Leniu, and he'll bring it out here to the 15. Gutho's been so resilient for the Dragons. I'm not a fan of him, but I have to admit he does try his guts out. Yeah, but he always tried his guts out for the Eels too. It's not like it's a different Gutho where now he cares. He did care for the Eels. He did want to see the Eels be successful. He was a part of a really successful period for the Eels. Third tackle with the Roosters at the 30. He was a part of their team, and a lot of the time he would be considered kind of amongst the top 5 fullbacks. I think it depends on what kind of fullback that you want. I think he has been a little bit... Oh, here we go. Roosters on the right-hand side here. Good run by Robert Toya. Flicks the ball off. Nwanga Tawase back into Hugo Savala. He'll flick the Zesco and then take him down to the 20. Fifth tackle. That was a good play. I'm surprised that they didn't knock that ball on because a lot of the time when you're kind of throwing the ball around like that, it gets a little bit hairy in regards to knock-ons. The Roosters kick the ball across. Chance. Knocked on from the Roosters. That will be a knock-on, so it'll be Dragons ball at the 10. Damn, a little bit of UFC. Oh, Biffo! Slap him! Smack him! Bush! 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 Bushka! Get the Biffos in the chat. Get the Biffos in the chat. Get the Biffos in the chat. Deary me. Deary me. Throw an uppercut, will ya? Throw an uppercut. Thanks, Joe. Yeah. I actually did refresh it because you told me before, and then and for some reason it just didn't update. But damn, a little bit of Biffo. Tell you what, it's been a minute into the game. We've got some whack and smack Biffo. How you going? So far, says Bulldogs, 3 players suspended. Can't see them appealing. Titans might have a chance next weekend. I hope so, mate. I hope so. Dove says, last year I'm pretty sure a Dragons player maybe Sealy got knocked out tackling a Rooster player off the kickoff. Yeah, I wasn't able to watch it because I was in New Zealand with the Skunkle boy over here. We're having a great time. It was a great night. It's a great night, Skunkle. But no, we didn't get to watch the Roosters Dragons. We did kind of see the... Yeah, we did see the Storm Rabbitohs game, but we're watching it from the bar. Like, there's at Mount Smart Stadium in Auckland. This game has got some heat to it. At Mount Smart Stadium in Auckland, there's like a bar. I can't remember the name of it now, which is basically in the stadium, but it's not in the stadium. We went there afterwards. It was a great time, and we were watching this and just seeing the 2 fitty bombs get put on. Because at that point of the season, there wasn't a fitty bomb, and they were the 2 games they weren't streaming. So it was so disappointing that I wasn't able to be here and do the fitty bomb with you guys for both of the games, but also I didn't care because we won. Our first game of the season too. Fit tackle. Olivia Reed with the $8 we do no sounds. Another day, another dono heading into Suncorp for the Rugby Union up the Auckland Blues. Olivia, firstly, thank you very much for your donation, but also secondly, you missed out on one of the greatest Broncos results in recent memory, but then you're going to go to Suncorp today anyway. Don't you have a membership at Suncorp? Is it just because of the rain you didn't go yesterday? I can't remember if that's what you said. I can't remember if that's what you said. It wasn't because of the rain. It did start pouring down rain throughout that game, to be fair. So is it still raining in Brisbane, Olivia? But thank you for your donation. Third tackle now for the Roosters at the 45 on the Dragon side of the field. Nafahu White, then to Siwa Wong, and he'll be taken down to the 35 over Broncos membership. Oh, you had work late. That's right, yeah. Yeah, I'm sorry to rub it in then. I'm sorry to say, like, oh, yeah, you didn't go, but yeah, you did have work. Look, that side down to Tupou, back on the inside, flicks it. Oh, try time for the Roosters! Try time, Sandon Smith, and this is a strong Roosters start here, man. This is a strong, dude, upset galore season. This is why I tipped the Roosters. I don't know if this still is a win, but I'm just throwing it out there that this is upset season, dude. If you see an underdog, just throw a tenner on them. Just throw a 20 on them. Because I guarantee you, you've made more money than you've lost this year. I guarantee you that you've made more money than you've lost this year if you put $20 on every upset. Just throwing it out there. And again, this is very early. I'm not saying the Roosters have won the game. But I'm just throwing it out there. David says, lest we forget, days like today brings all the feels, especially one of immense pride to be Australian. Oh, very proud to be Australian, man. Very proud to be Australian. Yeah, beautiful country. Greatest country in the world, mate. And New Zealand, you're alongside us. You're alongside us. Alongside us. Olivia Reese, it's been raining all night and morning, but it's clearing up now. That's good. Roosters fave? Roosters are favourites? No way. No way. Are they really? Why? They're last place, and the Dragons are in 7th. Why were the Roosters favourites? That makes no sense. That's awful odds then. Yeah, that makes no sense to me. The Roosters are last. Yeah. They're in dead smack last place right now. They're also coming off a 40... No way, Sam! There is absolutely no way the Roosters could be faves. Like, to be fair, I trust you guys. I do. I trust you guys. You know more than me because I can't see the odds over here. But it's like, that makes no sense. It makes no sense why... Like, I know they're at 4-0 and I did tip the Roosters. But it makes no sense. They're last. The Dragons are 7th. The Roosters are coming off a 40-point flogging by the Panthers. The Dragons coming off, like, what, a win against... Did the Dragons win last week? I think they did, didn't they? Round 7. They beat Manly 2018. Where is the favouritism for the Roosters come from here? They were favourites on Sportsbet. I just don't understand that. Like, sure. Like, I'm not disagreeing with you guys. I'm just very surprised. But then again, I tipped the Roosters, so maybe I shouldn't be so surprised. Skidamedi says, pretty sure it's meant to be raining early tomorrow morning as well, but then no rain for the week. Oh, in Brisbane. Blake says, man, I love seeing crowds packed. No, it's awesome. It's awesome. Obviously, last night was a good crowd, even with the rain. If it wasn't raining, it would have even been a better crowd. And then you got today's games where you'll see 3 big crowds, one in Melbourne, one in Christchurch for the Warriors Knights game, and then obviously this game between the Roosters and Dragons. Second tackle, Lee Daniel Tupou to the 25. They do get that conversion, by the way. And then tomorrow, Cowboys Titans probably should have a decent crowd up there on ANZAC weekend, especially with there being a large military presence in Townsville. What's the other game? Panthers Manly? I'm not sure about that one, to be fair. Hold on one second. Sportsbet had Roosters at $1.80, Dragons $1.90, not much value. That makes no sense. Makes no sense. So the Roosters now 6 again. They will get 6 again on 4th tackle at the halfway point. Tedesco brings it out to the 38. So first tackle. Roosters are faves. It's just crazy to me. Well, after how this game started, I know why. Like, sure, but based off of the pre-game stats and the pre-game, it just doesn't really... I just don't get it. Last place versus 7th. A team coming off a 40-point flogging to second last at the time in the Panthers. The Dragons coming off a 20-18 win away from home at Brookvale. Roosters lost at home at Allianz. Like, nothing makes sense here. So, sure, but... the value was, I guess, in the Dragons then at the time. 4th tackle here for the Roosters, and they're 4 metres away from the line. 4 metres away from the line. Connor Watson gets it up the back here to Victor Radley. Tedesco, knock on Dragons. Tyrell Sloan, you wish, bro. You wish, bro. There's absolutely 0% chance that's not a knock on, man. You wish. David says, the odds would have shifted based on money movement, but Roosters would have been outsiders first up. You'd assume so, David. You'd assume so. But again, I don't know. I can't look at the odds in India. I can go on like maybe a Bet365 or whatnot, but I just don't do that. I'm too busy having some random dancing festival outside my place here in Udaipur at like 2 or 3 a.m. in the morning last night. Like, it was just something else, man. This is such an incredible city here. This guy says, when I put a multi on Roosters at $8, Dragons $2. Yeah, like I said, trust ya, just don't get it. Alright, so Roosters 20 metres away here from the line. It's Sandon Smith off to Tedesco. Tedesco is going to be 13 metres away now, first tackle. Do Roosters win on ANZAC games? Maybe. I don't think the Dragons have a good record on ANZAC Day at all. I'm pretty certain the Roosters have a very good record against the Dragons on ANZAC Day. They definitely won last year by like 50 points. They won the year before that in like a field goal or whatever. Roosters left-hand side, Sandon Smith, second tackle, goes himself, taken down 5 metres away even the line, third tackle. Third tackle, Connor Watson, short play, Nafahu White, never the play there from Connor Watson, no idea what he's doing. Dragons goal line defence, way too solid there. They give it to Connor Watson, then to Sandon Smith out to Savala, another knock-on's coming up here from the Dragons. Oh, they're not going to call it. Oh, maybe this is off their head, this might be a Dragons try, Maybe they're going to have to check this, but the Dragons may have just run the length of the field. Sione Finau has scored. We're going to have to come and see if it comes off a hand of a Dragon or if it comes off the head of a Dragon. So they will call try for the time being, but they are going to check this. It's 6-4 here to the Roosters, but a kick to come to the Dragons. Yeah, maybe, Blake. Maybe it came off the head. And it's funny because this happened twice in this set. The other on the other side, but definitely was... Yeah, I think it might be off the head here. I want to see a closer up action, but I think it is going to be off the head. So Nwangane Tawase, he chased him down, which prevented him from going onto the post, but Sione Finau was, yeah, it comes off his head. It comes off his head. That's a huge hit there from Val Holmes. That is a massive hit from Val Holmes, and that happened twice in that set, because the other side, it was a knock-on. This side just comes off Val's head. With the way this season has gone so far, yeah, you know what? I've been thinking about this all morning, bro. The way this season's gone so far, if the Rabbits can pull off an almighty upset this weekend versus Storm, then I've officially seen it all. I was going to say, if the Rabbitohs win today for the first time in their history, the Storm coming off the back of a loss to the Dolphins, which was embarrassing, knowing that, you know, when now they're going to look to bounce back. They're at home on ANZAC Day. If the Rabbitohs win tonight, I think I've seen everything that rugby league has to offer. I think that's at the point where I'm like, I think I can die peacefully at that point. Not because of anything to do with the Storm, but because that is the most unlikely result that I think I might have ever seen in my life. It would be the biggest upset that I think I've ever seen in the history of the game if the Rabbitohs go to Melbourne and win for the first time ever in their history on Anzac Day. Whilst they are coming, like, as average as they've been. That's how you hit back, boys. Come on. Well, Dragons back into it. 6-6 here after 10 minutes into the game. Hit that like button and subscribe. But that definitely does hit his head there, Val Holmes. Definitely does hit his head. I just really hope the power stays on today. Like, I've got my phone charged and whatnot, so it's sweet. So, regardless, like, regardless, I've got internet. But it's just such an annoying process. Nice day. Nice day in Sydney. For me, biggest upset will always be a team beating Storm in round one. I don't know. The Rabbitohs have never won at Amy Park. in their entire history of Melbourne versus the Rabbitohs, they've never won at Amy Park. So it's kind of similar. I would say that the Rabbitohs getting that in a season like this on Anzac Day, where the Storm demand to have Anzac Day games at home. They demand it. That's why the Warriors said, you know what, we're not playing the Storm, we're going to go back to New Zealand and play against the Titans last year, the Knights this year. The Storm demand to have it, so it would be just such a huge loss. Also, after the Storm were embarrassed last week, which they don't usually lose 2 games in a row. Fit tackle now for the Dragons at the 40. Got through the set. I don't think there's been a mistake yet so far, which has been good to watch. This has been quite a quality game. This has been a quality game. There hasn't been a great deal of errors. There hasn't been a great deal of penalties. Sometimes you do see it in the first 10 minutes. Sometimes you do see that it can get, like 7 errors, especially Knights game. Oh, no, we've got the Knights next. We've got to watch the Knights next. Oh, no. Brenton, stop it, man. Please, Brenton. Brenton, I'm begging you, man. I'm begging you. I'm literally begging you that the Knights don't come in and knock the ball on 15 to 17 times like they do every single week, Brenton. Come on, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't do it again. We can't do this again, dude. So, 4 tackle here for the Roosters, and it's going to be Sandon Smith who passes it out to Hugo Savala. And then Nafahu at the 40. Big upset next game, come on. I'm not going to say it's not happening, but you know what I'm saying. I'm not saying it's not happening, but jeez, the Knights have got to improve. So the Roosters whack it up and knocked on there for the Dragons. So 6 again for the Roosters. No! Oh my God, well, you've got to come back for the no advantage. Oh, it's going to be a dropout. Who's the idiot who just kicked that ball? Who kicked that ball? Savala, I don't think he realised that they had the 6 again, but it was very clear that he had the 6 again. It was very obvious that the Dragons touched that ball. I don't know why Savala decided to kick that. Like, the referee's looking, he's looking at the referee going like this. I don't understand. He's very lucky there, Savala, because it will be a dropout, but dearie me. How about the Lions pick today? Haven't seen the NFL draft yet, I'm smart. Haven't seen. It's 11:47 a.m. over here, but I had a long night last night, so I wasn't able to see it. So James Tedesco grabs his ball at the 25, and he'll be taken down at the 15. First tackle. NBA went crazy today. I haven't even been able to see the NBA yet, Casey. I should have a look at that in a second. All right, so the Roosters now, they're 7 meters away from the line's second tackle. Connor Watson gets it to Victor Radley. Radley goes himself, and he'll be 3 meters away, third tackle, 12 minutes in. Good to see a good crowd there. Connor Watson, short ball, Angus Crichton. 4 tackle, 3 away, 4 tackle. Let's go, Daz. Daz just wants to see the Warriors fans cry. You knowing Daz, he just wants to see the Warriors fans cry, man. Fit tackle now, 1 meter away from the line. They give it to Smith. He goes up into the air. It's a good kick and a good air. Oh, it's a little bit too far, actually. It's not a good kick. It's not a good kick. And this has actually been a problem with Sandon Smith. Sandon Smith has been doing some pretty poor kicks in recent weeks where it goes directly into the end goal and gives away 7 tackle sets. Alright, I'm going to quickly have a look at the NBA results. And it'll be Dragons who bring it out to the 35 first tackle. All good, Jay. Well, Thunder were always... Oh, no, that's not the one. 2024 finals. Knicks beat Pistons 118-116. That's a good series, that. Thunder beating Grizzlies is normal. Clippers beating Nuggets isn't too surprising. Knicks and Pistons is a good one, though. I can tell you briefly about the most shocking game today if you want. No, go for it. I just looked at the scores. He wants his boy Sharp to get a meat pie as well. Oh, yeah, I forgot that. Yeah, Bat Fletcher Sharp. So 4 tackle now for the Dragons at the 40. And 5th tackle at the 35. Not a good run by Gutho at all. Oh, the Grizzlies choked a 29-point lead. Are you crazy? Damn. Like, I'm not surprised about the score, but choking a 29-point lead is something else. Damn, you obviously don't see that when you look at the scores, which is point and emphasis to people. First tackle for the Roosters at the 10. There's point and emphasis that if you don't watch a game, you don't know shit about the game, so just looking at the scores doesn't tell you anything. And it's like people will, like, demand you to respect their opinion and push a narrative about a game. Penalty to the Roosters here. They'll push a narrative about a team or they'll push a narrative about a game. And it's like, for example, I just looked at this result and it was the Oklahoma City Thunder 114 to the Grizzlies 108 in Memphis. The Thunder are a very good team. They're one of the best teams in the NBA. But That result doesn't surprise me. But it's the context of why people tell me the inside of the game that surprises me greatly. So that goes back to the NRL, where people can watch that Broncos-Bulldogs game last night, and then people cannot watch that Broncos-Bulldogs game last night, and you'll have two completely different opinions based off of it. For example, if people didn't watch the game, they wouldn't know how bad of a result that was for the Bulldogs. Because they'll see it and they'll be like, 34-18, the Bulldogs weren't that far off, but they also conceded a few points. If you watch the game, you know that all of those points for the Dogs last night were just consolation. They really were. Every single point the Dogs scored last night was just consolation. Roosters now, right-hand side, third tackle here at the 20. But if you watch the game, you know that it was 34-0 at half-time. And the Broncos just put a sword through them. Very disappointing second half from the Bronx, but they put the Q in the rack, which is what we spoke about at half-time last night. So fourth tackle now for the Roosters. They are 7 metres away. Oh, what's happening here? I hope that we are still live. Are we still going here? Seth Rice is looking forward to all the games this weekend, end of the weekend with the FA Cup semi-finals. Yeah, can you guys let me know that we are still live? Because for some reason my actual game itself has decided to... Hornets wouldn't blow that lead. Mate, Hornets wouldn't be in that lead in the first place. Can you guys just confirm for me that we are live right now? Because it looks like it's messing up for me right now. The Pats do a brilliant coach now. Oh, you're good. Okay, sweet. I don't know why it's not... the game is just like completely stopped and the Roosters are in the attack. I don't know what's happening. I'm all over the shop. I am all over the shop last night. Oh, right now. Last night was worse than the 66-0 loss to the Knights. I agree, but that's because the Bulldogs are in a much better position, right? A meaningless game for the Dogs anyway, really, when it was 66-0, because they weren't in a position. Damn, it's not letting me actually watch the game as we currently speak. I don't know what's happening. Yep, Doggies got mauled yesterday. They really did. They really did. Why on earth is this not pressing play? This is not fun. It's a try to the Roosters. Okay, I got back on and it is a try to the Roosters. That really annoys me that I wasn't able to watch that. That really, really grinds my gears that I wasn't able to see that try. But it is 10-6 here to the Roosters. They spread out to the left-hand side, 10 metres out. They push it underneath, and then there's a big hole in between. But then they push it all the way across the right. They didn't even use that hole. And then it's Mark Nwanganitawase who will score in the corner. Mark Nwanganitawase will score on the right-hand side. Billy Smith didn't decide to go through the hole through the middle. He gives it off to... he just runs all the way across, and the Dragons' defense is not good enough there. And the Roosters lead 10-6 with 23 minutes to go in the first half. Dude, I don't know what just happened there. I can't believe this was still live with you guys, but the game wasn't playing. That really confuses me. That's very confusing. Very, very confusing. But Nwanganitawase puts it over and they take the lead. Taking the lead. Okay, sweet. That's working now. I just wanted to make sure. Beautiful. And I don't even think that pass actually was what they planned to do at all. The pass wasn't even necessarily what they were looking to do. It just hit the grass and then bounced out to him nicely. Mark Alphabet scored. Sure, you're an islander technically, Sam. You're from New Zealand. Surely you should be able to pronounce Mark Nwanganitawase. Scoreboard changed to 10 before your game came back. 1750. Let's see how I'm at. Yeah, I'm at 1740 right now. I don't know. Well, we just got to hope for the best, man. Hopefully, this is a difficult kick here. It's a difficult kick from the sideline for the Roosters, and they will get it. They will get it. That's a great kick there for the Roosters. So it is 12-6 to the Chugga Chugsters. 18 minutes in. Yeah, call them Alphabet or Scrabble for short. Scrabble is wild. To be fair, Nwanganitawase would get you some good ones with like a Q. Nwanganitawase. Oh, would it? The Q is going to get you a lot. But there's a lot of like vowels. Like W isn't good. Oh, W might get a few. I don't know. I haven't played Scrabble in ages. The last time I played Scrabble was with my ex-girlfriend in Rotuma in Fiji, and she ended up flipping the table. So I haven't played it for a long time. That was a long time ago, man. That was a long time ago. She ended up flipping the table because I think I tried to use the word zit, as in like popping a zit, like a pimple kind of deal, and she said that zit wasn't a word. And because we're in Rotuma, the internet is absolutely dreadful. At the time as well, there was no internet, so we couldn't go onto the internet to to guarantee it was a word. I know it's a word, and it is a word. And I was like, I'm gonna get zit because I had like a triple with the Z kind of deal, but she wouldn't allow it, and she ended up from the table. So, welcome back. Zit is a word. No, zit is a word. No, I know. This is why she flipped the table, because she probably realised she gonna lose to the king. You gonna mess with the king, you gonna find out. You gotta knock on by the Dragons. Knock on by the Dragons. So Roosters get the ball here at the 10. Knock on by the Dragons. Adam Smarts Jay's gonna get some of that cheap butter chicken again, I bet. Mate, I had... Oh, tikka masala here in Udaipur has been amazing, dude. And the place I'm staying at right now, the naan is... Oh my gosh. The naan is unbelievable, mate. It's unbelievable. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Roberts is tough watch so far. Well, it's a close game at the very least, but the Dragons are making it very frustrating for you. But are you surprised, Robbo? Are you surprised? David says, dated a Rotuma girl, have the scars of the receipts too. Not going to get into that, but I can understand what you're talking about. That is definitely going to be classed as a knock-on here from Gutho. You've lost your challenge. Why would you challenge that, Clint Gutherson? What are you doing, dude? Clint Gutherson's off his rocker. Gutho is out of his mind challenging that call. So they've just lost the challenge 20 minutes in. 20 minutes to go to the first half. Hit that like button and subscribe if you're new around here. We've got 3 games for streaming today. Possession-wise, 84% possession of the Roosters is wild. 16% of the Dragons. But no, David, don't worry, mate. I feel you, brother. I feel you. I feel it in my fingers. I feel it in my bones with Rotuma girls. Jared Farmoni says, I'm now craving tikka masala. What is your choice of naan? Oh, mate, the one here, they have like not just a butter naan, like a cheese butter naan, and it's just, they put a little bit of something into it, mate. They put a bit of love into it. It's unbelievable. Unbelievable. The Roosters, right? Oh, no, this... Oh, he's going over the sideline. Knocked back, maybe. I think it might be a 6 again here, actually. Oh, Roosters will get the ball at 25. I don't know if it's a 6 again, or if it's just... play on. Second tackle, so it wasn't. Yeah, they just said that the Roosters touched it. Nafahu White, he's 15 metres away here from the line. Third tackle. 98 to 33 tackles is, insane. All right, Sanders Smith off to Spencer Lenu. Spencer Lenu crosses, runs straight into Lachlan Ilias, and then taken down 9 metres away here from the line. 9 metres away, 4 tackle now for the Roosters. Oh, dude, this is grinding my gears. Watch NRL is messing up. Connor Watson, he'll give it across here to Sanders Smith. Here's a chance. Tedesco kicks it through. Surely try. No. Roosters knock on, I think. No, yeah, Roosters. It's just going to be Dragons ball here at the 20. They get a 7 tackle set. That was really interesting. I don't know what happened there. Second tackle now at the 45. Nice, gotta love a cheesy naan. Oh, mate. But yeah, like, Udaipur is just... Delhi, not my style. Agra, definitely not my style. Jaipur, middle ground. But yeah, Udaipur is somewhere that you just love to go. It really is. Who's the new winger for St. George? He's not doing too bad right now. Sione Finau, he's the one that's going to the Dogs, isn't he? I think he's the one that's going to the Dogs. Dude, if this is what the internet's going to be like today in regards to this game, I might headbutt a wall. Like, I may end up headbutting a wall, to be fair. Because the game just keeps on damn well freezing. How is this stream working, but the game's freezing? It just doesn't make any sense to me. Dude, the possession stats is just insane right now. 79% to 21% Roosters' way, 21 minutes into this game. It's just incredible. That's incredible stuff. And for the fact that the Dragons are only down by 6 is just wild. Or maybe I have to switch internets or something. I don't know what's happening. I don't know why Young was taken out, because defensively he's just not great. We took Cam Ward at 1, then the bloody Jags moved up to 2 and stole Travis Hunter to waste his career. Well, you both are, aren't you? You both are. What is happening right now? My whole computer's just shitting itself. I don't know. It's still 12-6 though, so I haven't missed a try or anything like that. I have to refresh this score because, yeah, he's stuttering a bit as well. I don't know what's happening, man. I couldn't tell you. I could not tell you what's happening right now. I may have to switch the internets or something. Because now it's saying I can play live now. All right, so Dragons ball his second tackle at the 10. They're going to kick it through, and it'll be Noah Wanganitawasa who grabs it. He might be able to get out here. No, he will not. It'll be a dropout from the Roosters to the Dragons. Dropout from the Roosters to the Dragons. Not doing this again, Jackie. Fair. Joe says loading. Yeah, I don't know what's happening today, unfortunately. And that's going to be really frustrating if it's all throughout the day. I guess I can just switch my internet on for a bit. And then come back and think about this at halftime or something. Alright, so 17 minutes left in the first half. It's a first tackle for the Dragons. And they're 25 metres away from the Roosters line. First off to... I don't even know what that means. Second tackle. They give it off to... Flanagan, and then it will be DeBellin. They're 25 metres away here from the line. They go out to the right. DeBellin gives it... Oh, he goes through! No, taken down 7 metres away and knocked on. Oh, no, DeBellin... Oh, what? They've called a double knock on, I think. I think they've called a double knock on here. Guys, I'm going to switch the internet because this is getting ridiculous. This is getting absolutely just ridiculous right now. Yeah, I've got to do it. Hold on. It might cut out for like 2 seconds here, guys. It may... Hopefully we're back now. Hopefully we're back. Let me know how many fingers I'm holding up. Skynet letting the lads down. Skynet letting the lads down, unfortunately. I've had to switch internet, so let me know if you can see how many fingers I'm holding up. I've had to switch it across to my phone. Because I'm in a different room today. Thank you, Jay. Okay, sweet. We're back. Yeah. I had to switch. I'm in a different room, so that's why maybe the internet's just messing up a little bit. All right, so Roosters ball here. Fifth tackle at the 50, and Hugo Savala will just whack that one up into the air, where it will come down to the 15. I will advise, if you are watching and it froze for you, probably refresh the stream, because sometimes it will hold you a little bit behind. It will hold you a little bit behind where we're actually at. So just refresh the stream if you do feel like you're a bit behind. Second tackle for the Dragons, the 25, and Tyrell Sloan. Really looking to break away here. It's like Tyrell Sloan is just kind of threatening to have that breakaway. 4 tackle, and they're at the 40. 4 tackle. Hit the like also, it's free. It is free, Jay. I did hear this. Is an interesting fact that it is free to hit that like button on videos. You know, really impressive stuff. Oh, and you'll be very happy to know, Jay. You'll be very happy to know. India's starting up. India's starting up. You know what I'm talking about. India's starting up over on the travel. So James Tedesco, he'll get this ball here at the 25. I know you're chirping for it, mate. You're chirping for it. You're begging for a little bit of random festivals at 2 a.m. in the middle of Udaipur, which is a very quiet city. Adam Smart says, can someone let Blaze know the Pacers are 2-0 up in the playoffs also so I don't get jailed? Can someone let Adam Smart know that the Pacers are from Indiana and that's enough to say that team sucks? Mate, who are you playing? Oh, the Bucks. Whatever, man. You're playing the Bucks. You beat the Cavs and the Celtics, then you come talk to me. The Bucks, they couldn't win a chook raffle with all the tickets right now. Aren't you in Indiana at the moment, Blaze? Thank you, Sam. You really deserve a timeout for that absolutely pitiful effort of a play on words of India and Indiana, but I'll let you be this one time, Sam. You know, think of me as a graceful content creator. You know, I show a lot of forgiveness and compassion for people like you. Second tackle here at the 15. Brenton says, India starting up means travel content coming. Oh, I thought that was obvious. Yeah. It means India content is starting up. I do like that I'm like a month ahead of it, month and a half kind of deal ahead of it. Yeah, month and a half. How long have I been here now? 25th of April. I got here on the 11th of March. So nearly 2 months. That's like a month and a half, month and three quarters. So fifth tackle for the Dragons at the 44. Slowed down since that first 15 where there was quite a few points in it. And Tedesco to the 20, the 25. It looks out. Oh, nearly got a breakaway. Now he does get a breakaway. He does get a breakaway. He's at the 35, the 40. He was so close, and then he found that little hole, and that's what he does. For a halfback, Flanagan has the subtlety of a rhino on a safari. You can read his play intentions from space. Well, this is why I said before, like, Flanagan came out and said, oh, yeah, keep saying that we're the worst halves in the comp and we'll prove you wrong. It's like, I get you're going to say that. Like, of course you're going to say that and back you and your halves partner in, but hold on. At the end of the day, there's a reason why people say this. You know, there's a reason why people have that that criticism of the Dragons. He's lost the ball. Rooster lost the ball. Yep. Hugo Savala will knock the ball on, and it will be Dragons ball at, I think, the 45 on the Roosters side of the field. I think Hugo Savala is trying a little bit too hard today for mine. You know, like, I just think that he is giving it a crack, but it's just unfortunately not coming up for him today, Savala, which is kind of what happened last week too. I'd rather you have a crack and make mistakes than be lazy and make mistakes, at least. What program do you use for editing? One to Sheffield Mora, man. One to Sheffield Mora. I used to use iMovie back in the day. My regional vlogs here on the channel, but now I use one to Sheffield Mora because you can do a lot more with it. So Damien Cook is going to come off here for a HIE. HIE. So Jacob Little comes on, and I don't think that's a bad thing. Like God bless Damien Cook, don't get me wrong, but I don't think that Jacob Little coming in and I think that should be their starting order, to be fair. I think people just look at Damien Cook from 10, 15 years, not 10, 15, damn, from like 5 years ago, and think he's still that player, and I just don't think he is. I just don't think he's the same player that he was 5 years ago. No, is that a paid or subscription? No, I pay for it. I think I pay like 25. Oh no, I paid for a all-time lifetime membership, which was like, oh, that's a high tackle. That's a high tackle against Crichton. This maybe, I don't think it'll be a bin. I don't think it'll be a bin. Based off of the high tackle rule, I don't know what a bin is anymore. Tupanua should have been sent off last night, to be fair. Like, this could be class of bin. This could be. I don't think it should be. I don't think it should be. He does grab around his shoulder and it bounces up. I don't know what they call nowadays. I don't know what a bin is and what isn't. But I got a lifetime membership that cost me like $130, so I don't have to pay for any membership, but I pay like $25 a month for like the add-on pack and stuff, which means I can do a bit like there's more editing stuff that they give you. All right, so the Dragons now, second tackle at the 20 on the Roosters side of the field. 10 minutes to go in the first half. Hit that like button, subscribe. Second tackle now at the 20. And they give it across. Chance for the Dragons. 5 meters away. Third tackle. It just depends on the ref these days. Absolutely. Absolutely. Out the back. And that's going to be surely. Well, to be fair, it's hard. Oh, it's a Roosters knock on. I was going to say. I wouldn't say that you could call that as Dragons knock on. But yeah, it will be classed as a Roosters knock on here. Roosters knock on. So Dragons will get the ball again. 10 meters out. If the Dragons, considering the stats, can find a way, it's 62% now to 38%, but if the Dragons can find a way to tie this game up or to not be losing at halftime, they probably go on to win this game because they shouldn't be this close considering how much stats are against them. Adam Smart's warm night in Christchurch, no rain, 12 degrees, should be a good mistake-free game hopefully. Do you know who you're playing? Oh, Dragons knocked the ball on a first tackle, so Nwanga Tawasa picks it up. He's away. Nwanga Tawasa at the 20, at the 30, the 40, the 50, the 45, the 40, the 30, and Gutho with a great tackle to stop him at the 20 on the Dragons side of the field. But the Roosters, they're just going to get up quick and pass it across. Spread quickly. Dragons got back quite nicely there, to be fair. I don't know what Sandon Smith's doing there, going back short side. I don't know what on earth, and that's just ridiculous. Dead set. Oh, it's going to be a penalty to the Roosters here. Penalty. Why on earth is Sandon Smith cutting back to the short side there? Why on earth is Sandon Smith cutting back to the right-hand side? When you make a breakaway, the only smart thing to do is spread the ball because the hardest runners are running to where the ball is. The slowest runners and the ones who aren't putting in the effort are running down to the opposite side of where the ball is because they know they can probably get back by the time they get up from the tackle, right? Or they're just not, they're like forwards and they're taking a little bit of time to get back. Why on earth do you cut back to the short side and play like that, Sandon Smith? You spread the ball. It's the whole point. So damn well point. Piss me off. Piss me off, man. Piss me off. So the Roosters are going to get the penalty, and they are going to go for the 2 points here to make it a 14-6 game. It is a massive anticlimax going for goal, but it makes sense as well. It does also make sense. So Sandon Smith to put him up by 8. I was waiting for this response. Well, can you blame me? Can you blame me? Don't worry, I have complaints about the Titans too, man. Don't you worry. Adam, maybe the Wise might not, but we're winning the errors this year. You are definitely winning, probably winning errors this year in total. Let me have a look at the stats if there's like an error stat for teams. The Knights would have to be the most knock-ons. There's no way you wouldn't be. All right, still taking a while here to take this penalty, and Sandon Smith will get it. So it will be 14-6 to the Roosters with 7 minutes and 40 seconds to go here of the first half. Is there a... Do they have the... Okay, teams. Here we go. Scoring is the Broncos if they're playing an extra game. Possession. Warriors, set completion, 82% is the highest. Sharks is equal with them at 82. Manly, 81. Possession-wise, it's like possession, the Dogs have had 54% across the entirety of the year. They've had the most of the ball. Tigers are 52, wow. I want to see the bad stats. Sharks are on top for run meters all year. Dummy half runs is Raiders today. That doesn't surprise me at all. Intercepts. Oh, the Titans have actually had the second highest amount of intercepts. Good stuff. Doesn't surprise me the Dogs have the most charge touchdowns across the season. Where's errors? Negative play. Here we go. No, you know what's crazy? You're equal top for worst errors in the Knights. It's the Roosters with 91 and the Knights on 91. They're both on 91. The Panthers are on 87. The Broncos are 85 and the Eels are 81. Damn. So you're actually equal. And right now, you'd be second worst because the Roosters have made mistakes in this game. So, yeah, it's not as clear-cut as you'd think. Which tells you how bad the Roosters have been. David says, the Roosters uncovered an absolute gem in Mark Nwanga Tawase. What a beast. That little stutter step he has is very Hainsey-esque. Very Hainsey-esque. Yeah, Mark's he's Fiji, so I would assume that Mark will play for Fiji this year at the Pacific Cup at the end of the year. I think that's being played in New Zealand because Australia is going to England. So it'll be Samoa, New Zealand, and Tonga. And then Fiji, Papua New Guinea, and Cook Islands again. The only team... I just can't see Papua New Guinea beating anyone. The only team that can get themselves out of that second-tier Pacific Cup, in the Pacific Bowl, and beat the team who comes third of the Pacific Cup is Fiji. Papua New Guinea can beat Fiji quite easily, but Papua New Guinea can't beat anybody else as a top dog. Fiji does have the ability to beat New Zealand. They do have the ability to beat Samoa. They do have the ability to beat Tonga. They just, for some reason, can't beat Papua New Guinea. Papua New Guinea always beat them. I don't understand what it is. I don't think anyone understands what it is. It makes no sense. But then again, Fiji kind of comes from Papua New Guinea in a way. Is Jay pumped for the Perth Bears? Yeah, it's bullshit. Bloody bullshit. Yeah, Jay's the #1 fan. Jay's getting his drum out. You get your drum out, Jay, for the Perth Bears? You get your drum out? Get a little bit of tuk-tuk action going with the horns? What are we doing? What are you starting up there? What do you call them? The cave? We've got the front line. Rooster's got the chook pen. Rabbitoh's got the burrow. The dog's got the kennel. You got, what, the cave or some shit? Jay says, fuck the Bears. Hey, fair enough. I agree with that too. 4 tackle now for the Roosters at the 45. We're first in offloads, though. Well, Brenton, I'm going to give you a little bit of a helping hand here. Roosters get the ball here. If Dragons knock on the Roosters away, they're going to score a try. They're going to score a try. See you later. See you later. See you later. Sandon Smith with a nice little step there, and he will score underneath the post. So it is 18-6 with the kick to come, and it's about to be 26 to the Roosters with 4 minutes 20 to go here of the first half. That's a really nice dummy throw there from Sandon Smith. You can't really blame Gutherson. It's not his fault at all. But just not good defense there from the Dragons. And Connor Watson with a nice little inside pass that goes straight to a Dragon. But luckily for the Roosters, Sandon Smith's able to pick it up from the mistake from, I think it was Little who was the one who swung on it. But Gutho made his decision. I'm not unhappy with it. He wasn't stuck in the middle of the field. He wasn't stuck in between the two players. He made the decision to go for the player who was going to receive the pass rather than the player with the pass. I still would prefer him to make the play on the player with the ball. But with that being said, if he passed it, he would look like a hero. It's a 50-50. As long as he's not stuck in the middle where it's like if he didn't pass it, he scores. And if he does pass it, he scores. So I'm okay with that from Gutho. He didn't have any options, Brenton. He didn't. But to go back to your previous comment of having the first and offloads, it's really impressive there, Brenton, because that kind of directly relates to why you have the most errors. This is why you have the most errors. Having the most offloads makes sense, because then you're probably going to knock the damn well ball on. Mother bish. Perth drop bears. Perth drop kicks. Blazey says, saw some Roosters and Dragons supporters on the train today. All looked like they were questioning their choices. Why? The Dragons are in the 7th position. Well, they're not going to be after this if this keeps going. David says, ideas for the Bears actually support the Paddingtons, the Poos, the Teddies, or the Honeypot. I'd just say the Clowns. How good's the 2 p.m. Friday game in Perth going to be? Get around it. 2 p.m. Friday game in Perth will be... What? Like... Is that 6 p.m.? Are they 4 hours behind? I don't know, because I'm in India, so they're like 2 hours ahead of me or something. It'll be 2.5 hours ahead of me, or 1.5. What time is it for you, Jay? It's 12:16 for me. So what is it, like 2:45 for you or something like that? Because India's weird. We're on a half-hour switch, kind of like Adelaide in a way. Probably not going to play there then anyways, though. No. Well, they can't play like 8 p.m., 7 p.m. games there because they won't get the audience. They won't want to have a game that starts at like 10, 11 p.m. Yeah, 2:45, so you're 2.5 hours in front of me. And then 4.5 hours, so you're 2 hours behind Queensland and New South Wales. So if you start a game at 8, that's starting a game at 10. No one on the East Coast is going to watch it, and you're just going to have to rely upon the new audience over there in Western Australia. So that wouldn't make sense. So you'd have to play in Perth a 6 p.m. game. Or like a 3. So the way they'd set it up, they'd get a 6 p.m. game in Perth on a Friday, or they'd get the 3 p.m. game on Saturday, the 5:30 p.m. game on Saturday. But then that's their 3 o'clock and 5:30. So it would be, yeah, if they start at 3, then that's their 5:30, our 5:30 in Queensland and whatnot. It'll be confusing, man. It'll be confusing. It's a lot easier to work with New Zealand time rather than Perth. A 7 p.m. kickoff time in Perth is 10 p.m. in Sydney. I'm thinking in half time because of India, yeah. Daylight savings is over. Anyway, long story short, Perth is going to be a confusing one, to be fair. Because the West Coast Eagles and the Fremantle Dockers can sustain based off of their local audience in regards to viewership. But for the viewership to be beneficial for Perth in rugby league, you'll have to have some locals, but ultimately the eastern states have to bump it up. The eastern states have to bump it up, so you can't have it too early. All right, so it's going to be first tackle here for the Roosters, and they're at the 40. Now, Nwangana Tawase gets the ball, second tackle to the 50. What time will PNG be behind? I think PNG's same time as Queensland, isn't it? I'm really looking forward to Papua New Guinea coming in. Dude, I tell you what, that stream, their first ever game in the NRL, round 1, that stream on the channel will be wild. There will be so many people. Remember when we were up, I don't know who was watching, 4 tackle for the Roosters at 40, 35 seconds to go the first half. I don't know how many of you guys were here for the World Cup. It was like 3 a.m. Papua New Guinea versus Tonga, or Papua New Guinea versus like Cook Islands or whatever. We had like 800 people watching at that time. Like 800 people. PNG is equal with Darwin. What? Why? They might go for the 1-pointer here. It's first tackle. They might even go for a try. No, they're going to go for the ball over the sideline. That's what they're going to do. I'm going to go have a look at the Papua New Guinea time right now. So the time in Zimbabwe, Papua is 4:49 p.m. So it's the same time as Queensland. You muppets. It's the same time as Queensland. 4:50. Yeah, it's 4:50 p.m. in Port Moresby, and it's 4:50 p.m. You muppets, man. For Darwin time. Darwin. Gee whiz, may as well put it on bloody Nigerian time at this point. Darwin. Papua New Guinea Port Moresby is currently 4:50 p.m. and the current time in Brisbane is 4:50 p.m. Deary me. Who said Darwin? Yeah, Blitzy, you muppet. Sharks fan. There you go. But half-time, you guys. 20-6 to the Sydney Chucksters Roosters. The Dragons, not too good here, son. Not too fantastic amundos. Let's get into some of the stats of the game here at halftime. Obviously, guys, hit that thumbs up button and subscribe. This isn't looking like the most fantastic of Anzac Day games, and it's not setting us up for two games that the Warriors are heavy favourites and the Storm are heavy favourites. I thought this would be a lot closer, but I did tip the Roosters. But guys, obviously hit that like button. Subscribe if you're new. Let's get to the stats. 64% to the Roosters, 36% to the Dragons. Blitzy says Sharks win the comp. I think, I wish that was the case. I doubt that is the case right this second. But then again, I don't know shit about who wins the comp this year. Don't know shit. Time possession is 15:45 to the Roosters, 9:51 to the Dragons. Completion rate 83% for the Roosters, 20 from 24. The Dragons are at 75%, 12 from 16. You want to be at least at the 75-80% mark, but 80 is a solid marker. 75 is like okay, it's very basic. So it's not awful for the Dragons, but it's definitely not great at all. The Roosters 83% is pretty solid, and that's the thing. Like they've got 4 completed sets. They're both incomplete 4 times, but the Roosters have had more ball, so that's why it's 83%. It makes more sense. It's not too bad. Anything above 80 is solid. 100 runs to the Roosters, 62 runs to the Dragons, 1,133 run meters for the Roosters, 586 there for the Dragons. So it's quite literally double. The Roosters have had quite literally double the amount of meters the Dragons have run. Post-contact meters is also quite literally double, 314 to 161, which is not always the case. So that means the Roosters are just dominating this game. 5 line breaks to 0, 14 tackle breaks to the Roosters to 8 for the Dragons. The defense isn't actually that bad in regards to a lot of factors here. But average set distance is 47.21 for the Roosters, 36.65. The Dragons are getting manhandled at the middle of the field. They're getting absolutely manhandled. 47.21 is a ridiculous number. That's getting up towards the 50 mark, and it's not raining. Give me one sec. It's not raining. So 47.21 is amazing. 36.65 is not awful, but it's on the lower end of a pretty basic area. The Dragons are playing very mid. It's not bad, but it's very mid when you're looking at these stats. The kick return there is 211 to 46 in favour of the Roosters. Is just insane. Both play the ball speeds are very fast at 3.27. Exactly. They're both exactly the same at 3.27, which is crazy. 6 offloads to 1 Roosters way. You've got 40% and 50% kick defusal, so both teams not too great. The defense, like I said, is immaculate for both. 92.96% for the Roosters, 90.18% for the Dragons. Both very good. 132 tackles made for the Roosters, with 8 missed and 2 ineffective. That is, again, very good. For both those two teams. That's actually really, really good for the Roosters. Whilst the Dragons at 90.18%, which is 202 tackles made, 14 missed tackles, and 8 ineffective, which is still very good. 90.18% is still very good. You're not upset with that. You've got errors-wise, 7 errors to the Roosters is crazy. 6 errors to the Dragons. So yet they're up 20 to 6, and yet they've got 1 more error, and it's 13 errors to the first half, which is a lot. That's a lot of errors, man. That is a lot of errors, man. 13 errors in the first half by both teams is crazy. 2 penalties conceded to the Dragons, 1 to the Roosters. So both teams aren't that ill-disciplined, but 2 ruck infringements for the Dragons to 0. So overall, you look at these stats and you go, it makes sense why the Roosters are winning. The Dragons have been very, very mid. Not bad, but mid. They've got a good defensive stat line, but their attacking and their possession and their offloads, it's just very basic and mid. So it's very unfortunate there for the Dragons. But it makes sense who the leader is here. Robbo says, first game my missus has watched with me all year and she's ripping me at the moment. Who does she support? If she's ripping you, who does she support, Robbo? She can't support the Dragons if she's ripping into you. Ripping into you. David says, Dragons could be a team of shadows with how they've played so far. They've been very, very mid, yes. Yeah, they've been very, very flatlined. Very flatlined. Seth Rose says 251 in Perth. Sure. I thought we kind of established that before. Didn't we establish that about 10 minutes ago? Bloody Blitzy talking about Papua New Guinea being on bloody damn well Darwin time. Damn well Darwin time! Darwin's lucky to have a time. Deary me, Blitzy. United sucks is disgusting so far. But you've got to remember the Roosters have actually knocked the ball on more. Like, there's more errors for the Roosters than the Dragons. I find that insane. So it does show the Dragons just have not been good enough. They just simply have not been good enough here. Because I haven't seen like a specific, I haven't seen like a specific call that I would severely disagree with or whatnot. All right, guys. Well, I'm going to switch this internet back across. Or maybe I'll just like put some more internet on here before I run out of internet on my phone. It's not too bad, to be fair. Yeah, give me 2 seconds. I'm gonna sort this internet thing out and try and switch it back across while it's half time here. Obviously, hit that thumbs up button, subscribe. I'll be back in just a few momentos. Let's see some but what was be buddy, but beginning Darwin. Gee whiz. Oh, alright, we're coming back. We're coming back. Well, sweet. That sound is on. Let me just make sure that everything's all good because I had to sort a few things with the internet out and whatnot. But we are alright. We are all good. Still waiting for the second half to start, to be fair. Still waiting for the second half to start. Let me just put this chat over here again. Deb, I tell you what though, that Warriors Knights game for the I really hope, I desperately hope that that Warriors Knights game isn't just an absolute shit fest and the Knights come in and play poorly and the Warriors come out and just rump them. If that's a bad game, man, like that's gonna be a long day because the Storm and the Rabbitohs game is probably gonna be a blowout. So if those are two bad games, it's gonna be a long day. It'll be maybe if it's like 30 points at halftime to the Melbourne Storm, I'm gonna be like, you know what? I'm gonna get Curry. Have we always had 3 games on Friday ANZAC weekend? Well, last year we had Titans Warriors in New Zealand, and then we had Roosters Dragons, and then there was also Storm Rabbitohs. I don't know if it's always been this way. I'll have a look. There's definitely, I think so. No, not always. Or maybe I'm thinking of Good Friday. Good Friday's always the two where it's separated. Yeah, I think we always have had 3 games on ANZAC round. So 2023, I think it was round 8 as well, yeah? 2023, no, it was, I don't know. Because ANZAC Day, on the 25th. No, because we had the Roosters and the Dragons and the Storm and the Warriors. There was 2 games in 2023. That was on a Tuesday, though. So that wasn't on a Friday. That was on a Tuesday. And then in 2022, I don't know why it keeps going to the grand final. In 2022, damn, that would have been weird on the Tuesday. We would have been live streaming. That would have been weird on Tuesday. And then 2022, it was actually it was round 7. I think that was on Tuesday as well. Yeah, oh no, it was on Monday. That was the 7 and 10. No, so it was just Dragons and Roosters and the Storm versus the Warriors and whatnot. But then obviously, it's changed. But there was Monday, there was Tuesday. Yeah, I wonder if there's any time in the future where there's going to be a Wednesday ANZAC Day. When would the Wednesday ANZAC Day be? Because that's going to be very, very strange. Can someone Google to see if there's ANZAC, the 25th of April is on a Wednesday coming up? I won't be in here for the next game because I'm on my phone. Need to watch it on KO in front of the fire pit. Need to buy a tablet to watch both unless I grab my laptop, but the battery's shit. You go and grab your laptop right now, Brenton. You apologise for ever saying you're not going to watch the night stream here. Unbelievable, Brenton. Have a word to yourself, Have a word to yourself. You going to make me sit there and watch that? You going to make me sit there and watch that? And you're not going to be here? I need to insult someone, Brenton. Dear me, how selfish are you? How selfish are you? You're not even going to let me sit there and insult you about the Knights? Deary me. That's selfish. That's real selfish. That's real selfish stuff, that. I need someone to make fun of, mate. Come on. So the Dragons and the Roosters are back out on the field. Back out on the field. Like, it's still... If the Roosters score next, it's well and truly game over. Where are all the other Knights fans in this channel? Do we have other Knights fans? Like, who are the other Knights fans? We have... Who are the other... Like, you're the main consistent Knights fans. You would probably notice them more than me. There is definitely a couple more, but I wouldn't say there's a massive amount of Knights fans on the channel. But then again, they don't really have this success to kind of have that. Like, Titans wouldn't have a huge fan base on a channel if it's not a Titans fan, like myself. The Tigers have a solid fan base. I don't know. I really don't. I can't really think of too many, but there are. Show yourself, Knights fans. Well, they're probably not watching Roosters Dragons. If you're here on the next game, then sure. Olivia says, do better, Brett. Yeah, exactly right, Olivia. He's unbelievable, this bloke. Really disgraceful. Just selfish. 4 tackle now for the Dragons at the 40. They need to score first. Like, obviously, I know of quite a few Knights. Like, Nilso is a good friend of mine. There's not that many Knights creators. You got Damo, the flag man, who gets his flag out at games. Like, Knights have a strong fan base, but it's like they're not too involved. Like, for example, you guys weren't able to get to Magic. So 2 years ago, you had the buy in Magic round. or was it 2 or 3 years ago? You had to buy a Magic round because Dolphins came in 2 years ago. So 2 years ago, you had to buy a Magic round because you had the least. The Knights had the least social media involvement in the previous year. So I just don't think that your fan base is very active online. Lincoln Sean. I don't think they watch streams. Oh, you're talking about the United podcast. Yeah, Link's great. I'm not a massive fan of Sean, but Link is fantastic. He's a great bloke. He lives up in Ipswich. Link. United podcast. Yeah. No, I know. Them. I'm at the pub watching right now. Olivia, what are you doing? Tails or heads? You going tails or heads? Dragons ball hit the 15. They're going to bring it out here to the 20 on third tackle. You going tails or heads? Chuck a 20 down on... You know what? I'm going to go the upset. Heads is always an upset. I'm going to go the upset. Chuck a 20 down on heads for me. Chuck a 20 down on heads for me. On the old 2-up. Nice running by Damien Cook. He's away. He's away for the Dragons. Damien Cook. Oh, he didn't see Gov on the inside. If Damo was looking in the inside, he had a try there for Clint Gutherson. But he went to the right-hand side. They kick it through. Good kick. Dragons come in. Tedesco's getting taken in goal for sure. If he gets out, it's a miracle. And he's taken down. I'm watching the footy. Well, if you hear that heads came up, just know. I think Link is in Ipswich. Link lives in Ipswich, Brenton. No, he's a good bloke. Now, I was meant to go on his podcast once or something, or send in a voice message or something. I can't remember. It's just I remember the other guy that's there. He just shat on me after a Titans Knights game, and I was just like, I'm a big believer in you. Talk shit, you have a bit of a laugh, you banter and whatnot up until the game, and then whoever wins the game, that's the winner, right? I'm a big believer in that because I feel like it's not. Everyone's going to have emotions post the game if you lose, and everyone's going to be extremely happy if you win. Especially if you know someone, if you know them, then it's great. But if you don't know that person, and then you just send a barrage, I had a problem with the Cast Boys a couple of years ago. They did it with me in the Titans Rabbitohs game, and they went on for a week and a half. We had a problem, but we sorted it out. Cast Boys are great. Cast Boys are awesome. But I feel like some people just don't kind of know how to do that, and just shit immediately after a game. When the emotions are still extremely high and whatnot, and when you don't know them, it's a bit of a problem. So yeah, the other guy I'm not a big fan of, but Link's he's an awesome dude. Desi Driver, dearie me. Second tackle of the Dragons. They're 10 metres away. Luciano Leilua, 3 metres out. 3 metres out. You can't be drinking and driving on ANZAC Day. The cops are well and truly waiting. They know what's happening. So give it out now to Flanagan. Flanagan off to Ilias, and 5 metres away. Fit tackle. Dragons, you score next, and you're well and truly back into the game. It's only a 14-point game, which will turn into a 1-12er. And they flick it out, hits the grass. Flanagan kicks it through, bounces back for himself, and that's still fifth. Yeah, that's going to be Roosters' ball here, 3 metres out. Oh, it's an accidental offside, so it's actually a penalty to the... Oh, it's against the Roosters. Accidental offside here from the Roosters, apparently. And Todd Smith is actually calling out one of the players. There might be a bin here. The Roosters might be about to get binned. The Roosters... It's Sandon Smith. Sandon Smith might get binned here. Direct contact. Yeah, he's in the bin. Sandon Smith will go to the bin for 10 minutes here. Earlier in the set... So Ilias coming through. Sandon Smith will... Yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely. Direct contact to the head. Just whacks him across. So I have a good understanding of what they're calling now. Because they didn't bin Crichton before because it does hit here and then comes up. Which I like. They did call that a couple of weeks ago, but whatever. They're really emphasizing that direct contact to the head. And that was a bin. Alright, so Dragons here. This is your opportunity to get back into the game. He was having a great game before he went to the bin, Brenton. I still don't like his fit tackle kicking options up in the air because I do feel like more often than not it is actually a 7 tackle set for the opposition. But outside of that, he has been really good today, yeah. And it's going to be Moses Suli, who's 5 metres away, third tackle. Hopefully it opens them up. ANZAC Day will be on Wednesday in 2029. 2029. That's going to be so weird to have 2 games on, or 3 games on the Wednesday. Oh, knock on Dragons. You're kidding. Sione Finau will knock the ball on, and it's going to be Roosters ball at the 15. It's not his fault, really. It's kind of on Gutho who hits the grass. They just spread out to the left, and then Gutherson tries the cutout pass and hits the grass, and it's behind Sione Finau. So, unfortunately, that, my friends, will be a knock-on against you today, guys. So the game doesn't look like it's going to open up as much as we would have liked immediately. No, sir. All right, so Roosters ball here, 10 metres out. If they don't score with this man to bin, then it's definitely a loss. If they don't score. Close that. Okay. There we go. All right, second tackle now for the Roosters at the 25. It's not the most enthralling game, so I won't lie. Like, this isn't exactly the most kind of edgier seat action game. It started off like that, but it's really kind of slowed down quite significantly since. 4 tackle, but I also think because it does look like it potentially might be a blowout, that it does, you don't really get as invested. There we go. Fit tackle for the Roosters. 4 tackle, they get the offload away. They spray it out. There's no way you can concede here, Dragons. There's absolutely no way you can concede with a man and bin. Screw the Chooks. Who are you going? Did you bet on the Dragons, Kunkel? Did you go for the... I can't believe it was an underdog still. I don't get it. Even though they're down by a big margin. Oh, I think... Who's knock on? This is a knock on for someone. So it's going to be a try to the Roosters, but there's either a knock on even the Dragons, a knock on for the Roosters. They're going to call this as a no try. They're going to call this as a no try. But there's definitely a knock on here from someone. Gutho looks like he might punch one of his teammates soon. Yeah, but it was his fault for the knock on. It wasn't Sione Finau's fault for the knock on. It was his fault. So they're all onside. Not a genuine attempt to tackle the kicker. Oh, they're going to penalise the Dragons. So acknowledge surely means agree. And Gutho will have the ball there. And then it's just... So I think this is a penalty to the Roosters up at the 30, the 40, wherever the kick was. But Gutho is going to touch it there. And then Tedesco's going to strip it out, which is a one-on-one, but it will go forward. Tedesco's got it there. And... Or are they going to... Goes forward. Yeah. So knock on there. Knock on there from the Roosters, but the penalty will go to the Roosters at the 15 where the ball landed. Come on, Dragons, make this game exciting. Well, right now it looks like the Roosters are about to take it away again. So no try. There's no way they're taking the 2. They're taking the 2 here to go up by 16. Why? Roberts, this is not a good time. This is not exactly the most enthralling of games. The Roosters are taking 2-pointers every time. The last one was fine. This one, I get you trying to waste the sin bin time, but it's like you're on the attack right there. You're already up by 14. This kind of does nothing for you. You're on the attack here, 10-15 out. Like, why not just go for the try in this situation? This is such a weak-minded play. In my opinion, I think it is so weak-minded to go for the 2 points here. You're already up by 2 converted tries plus a penalty. There is literally no purpose to this. You're going to just be on the line, throwing what you can at them. If you score, it's amazing for you because you've just scored against with a man down. Who we hating on this game, people? I don't really have a dog in the fight here. I guess it's a better result for most teams competing for the 8 if the Roosters win this game, and the Panthers actually go last. The Panthers will be last for today until if the Roosters are going to win this game, the Panthers will stay last until their game tomorrow. They will be last. Deary me. They are currently in last position and cannot change that till they play Manly tomorrow. Manly's going to be a tough opponent. I know that Manly have lost 3 games in a row, but Manly are still well and truly in the hunt for the 8. They win their game, they will go into the 8 because the Dragons now are more than likely going to lose and their points differential getting shot. The Rabbitohs are minus 36 points differential shot, and they're not beating the Storm. The Cowboys are minus 42, and they're definitely losing to the Titans, right? Guys, please, yeah, right, yeah, please, thank you. Dolphins, there's no guarantee, so Manly would go into the top 8. So that's a very big game tomorrow. Your clock has stopped. Thank you, Brenton. Deary, I blame Jay. I know he said BRB that he'll be back, but I blame Jay still. And Skunkle. It is always Skunkle's fault. All right, the Roosters are way on. This is a blowout, guys. This is a blowout. This is a blowout. And that, my friends, is another try for the Roosters right onto the post. And it is 26-6 with the kick to come. Robbo. Unfortunately, it is time for you to turn the game off, my friend. It is time for you to turn this game off. The Dragons are getting a nice little tickle here. They're getting a nice little tickle all over. 30 minutes to go to the game, guys. It's 26-6 of the Roosters. Hit that like button, subscribe. And they're getting done through the middle here. This is a multiple time occurrence where they've just gone straight through. And the dummy just gets past Gutho. But again, I'm okay Gutho making the decision of which way to go. Because it's not his fault. It's not his fault there at all. From 4 in a row to last place feels bad, man. Crazy, eh? They're really, really big. Clyde says the difference between the Saints and their best and worst is huge. Well, Clyde, this is why I'd put them dead smack in 8th position preseason. I tipped the Roosters for this game. I put the Roosters in 4th last in this season, and I still have them probably around there. But I just feel like the Dragons, they can be very, very solid, but they can be very, very bad. And it's kind of down to their halves. And Ilias and Flanagan just aren't kind of at that level. Damien Cook, I don't believe should be starting. I think it should be Jacob Little. I think Gutho has been a fantastic signing for this season, so I'm not going to throw shade kind of that way. But there's just so many issues with the Dragons team to be able to... it doesn't really kind of convince you long term, if you know what I'm saying. The Dragons just don't convince you. Neither do the Roosters, but they have a great record against the Dragons on ANZAC Day. I still can't believe they were favourites, but this is showing why they were. Up the mighty Roosters, Nigga says. Yeah. Doing alright, mate. Doing alright. Poor Jag. Yeah, Skunk, I'm sure you feel really bad for him. Nice try from my uncle. Blake Steep under the post. Blake Steep. Mitchell's uncle. Mitchell Steep. Brenton Esley says the Panthers will get a sniff of last on the table today. They will be in last for today and tomorrow, pretty much. And I'm telling you, Manly can win tomorrow. Manly can beat the Panthers tomorrow. So if Manly win, the Panthers will be last by the end of the round. Like, they'll go last today and they'll be it. If the Panthers win tomorrow, then the Eels will go back to last, which is not necessarily a huge surprise, is it, ladies and gentlemen? Not necessarily massive surprise there, the Eels being in last position. The Roosters win. How far up the ladder they go? They go dramatic. Like, that's a huge jump. They go all the way from 17th to, like, 15th. No, they actually will go above the Knights for now. With a massive win, they need to win by 20 to go above the Knights. They're up by 22 right now, so they will go above the Knights into 14th. But they have to win by about 60 odd to go above the Titans. So, because the Titans are on minus 36, so they're on 80. So they have to win by 70, 60, 50, 40. They have to win by 44 points on what to go above the Titans. But realistically, they're still bottom 4. And the Dragons might be taking down the 20. Tough time to be a Panthers fan. Couldn't imagine the pain Mr. Bass is in. Couldn't imagine the pain. But he would be back on the Broncos bandwagon now. Because he was originally a Broncos fan before he went to the Panthers. Come on, Dragons, put some points on. Yeah, well, regardless though, like, if you win, you go back above them. If you lose, your points differential's still shot anyway. You're at minus 60 as it is. But knowing the Warriors, it wouldn't surprise me if the Warriors go and beat the Broncos, who then go and beat the Dogs. Good pass there from Gutho. They're away. The Dragons are away. Try time for the Dragons. Try time for the Dragons. It'll be Kyle Flanagan who scores and makes it 28-10 with a kick to come. 28-10 with a kick to come. 28-10 with a kick to come. So that's kind of game back on. David says, Gutho got absolutely sent to the shops by Steep there. Dragons fans will be waiting at Cogra Oval for him to return with the milk. But, like, what do you want Gutho to do? Like, what do you suggest Gutho to do in that situation? If he goes for Steep, Steep passes the ball to Tedesco. If he goes for Tedesco, Steep keeps the ball. If he goes to the middle, Steep keeps the ball. Like, at the end of the day, like, Gutho's not at blame for that try. At all. Like, Gutho's not at blame. You can't blame Gutho for either of the two tries where he got done over with the dummy. Again, like, I think this one with Steep is a lot more of a misunderstanding than maybe the previous one, because the previous one was Sandon Smith, who was a back. But a forward with the ball, I probably still would go for the man with the ball in that situation, on the basis that the forward's may not have a good pass in him in comparison to Sandon Smith. So if you go for him, you could force the pressure, or he could hold the ball, because forwards usually do just think to go with the ball. Then they don't really pass it. So when it's a forward running like that, I probably would have suggested to go for the forward. But when it was Sandon Smith, I would probably suggest to go for the where it was Tedesco following up as well. I think it was Tedesco both times, actually. But, that's all in hindsight too. But I still would say, regardless of hindsight, I would probably still suggest to go for the forward every time in that situation. Come on, Dragons, put some points on. Well, yeah, so 16 points right now is the gap. They did get the kick. 16 points, so that means now the Roosters are on minus 64. So they're below the Knights points differential-wise. They are below the Knights points differential-wise. All right, Blake Lowry brings it up here to the 30. And don't forget, the Roosters scored when they had the man in the bin. The Dragons just scored when the Roosters had the man in the bin. There's been actually quite a few breakaway tries here today. To be fair, look at, like, Lomax went from the Dragons to the Eels. I still would have preferred to be at the Dragons than where the Eels are at right now. Someone on Instagram was arguing, saying, the Dragons have the right side, hit their away. Dragons are away here, Dragons are away, Mothersulli after Tyrell, Sloan at the 40, the 30, 25, flicks it back on the inside. What are you doing? Oh, and they knock it on. Oh, I don't know why he needed to throw that ball back on the inside. It was third tackle and they made the break. That was absolutely game back on there. That was 100% game back on there. Damn. Oh, so Sloan's been injured. Maybe that's why. He thought he was just going to get taken out or something. The Dragons should wear their full red Steelers strip one game for the retro feels. Who's got the main involvement nowadays? Is it Illawarra or is it St. George? Like, with the Tigers, I'm pretty certain that... I don't know who the main involvement there is, the Tigers. Is it Balmain or West who control the Tigers for the most with the main stake? And with the Dragons, is it Illawarra or is it St. George? Because one team does have a predominant stake in those merger clubs. So first tackle, like for example, North Sydney, I guarantee you, will have more of a stake than the Perth side of things. Which is dangerous because I tell you what, if that scumbag organisation decides to screw Perth over in the long run, I tell you what, oh man, people like if they are a scumbag organisation. If they screw Perth over like they tried to screw the Titans over, which would not surprise me at all. It would not surprise me at all. I guarantee you that's something long term. Their fans will come out and say, no. It was just one guy. Shush, man. Oh, Roosters, Sandon Smith kicks it through, tries up the Roosters, and now it's game over again. I think you're right, Jared Farmoni. I think West do have more stake due to financials and development. But try time there for the Roosters. Sandon Smith having a really good game here. I know he got binned, but he's having a really good game. 32-12 with the kick to come. And guess what, Brenton? Nice points differential behind him again. Is that Andrew Johns? Sandon's had a really, really solid game here. Good step there. That is a very Andrew Johns-esque play. That, you know what? I agree with your comparison there. I really agree with your comparison. That looked very Andrew Johns-esque with that huge step and the little hold pass where he doesn't actually pass it, gets around and then just comes back onto the inside, and then has an awkward kick out to the right where he probably could have passed it earlier and they would have scored. But that is very Andrew Johns-esque, that. It's a great try. Tedesco will finally get a try too. He's followed up on those multiple times that He's followed up the play where it wasn't passed to him, so he deserves a try. But 32-12, with 23 minutes to go. For West, it's West who have majority. For Dragons, it's St. George. Illawarra technically folded into the Dragons, whereas Tigers is 60-40 partnership with Balmain. Yeah, there you go. I guarantee you North Sydney get majority partnership, and they will they will do anything they can to get 100% of games to North Sydney Oval. Teddy scoring ANZAC Day is almost always a guarantee. He's a very good player, the old Tedesco. Gets way too much disrespect, and that's coming from a Queenslander. And Sandon Smith will get the kick. So it's 34-12 with 23 minutes to go. And guess what? We are on Fetty Bum Watch. Fetty Bum Watch. Fetty Bum Watch. Fetty Bum Watch. We are absolutely on Fetty Bum Watch right now. The Roosters putting a score on. Tigers partnership is with West. Yeah, we know that. Well, what we're saying, I was looking to see who had the most stake between West and Balmain. Because Balmain is still involved. It's the same thing with Illawarra, but as David said, it's not the same, but it's similar. That really annoyed me when West merged with Balmain. I think it annoyed everyone, mate, because West and Balmain hate each other. The West Tigers and the West Magpies and the Balmain Tigers hate each other. Those two fan bases in the one club hate each other. Illawarra and St. George don't like each other, but they don't have the same hatred that West and Balmain have for each other. So it really doesn't make sense. It didn't make sense at the time. It didn't make sense, and it doesn't make sense. Because you're putting two fan bases. It's like combining the Roosters and Rabbitohs. Merging the Roosters and Rabbitohs. It's like merging the Titans and the Broncos. It's like merging, Manly and not Manly and Parramatta, really, because it's still the same. That's not the same area. That's a penalty to the Roosters here. So it just makes no sense. I must be new with North Sydney and their handlings. What did they try to do with the Titans here? They're a piece of shit, that organisation. 2015, 2016, when we were owned by the NRL, they wanted to basically merge with the Gold Coast and were saying what they were trying to achieve was to kind of sneak their way in, partner with the team, which was the Titans, who were very vulnerable at the time, and then with the Titans' lack of success, with the Titans' lack of fan base, they said this publicly too. One guy who was a part of their organisation said this publicly. Their CEO came out and supported it too. Effectively, what they were going to try to achieve was they'll have 20% of crowds, and Gold Coast will have 80% of crowd. And then after a couple of years, they would realise, well, there's not enough crowd there. They're not making enough money there, so it's going to go to 40% or 50% and 50%. Right? So North Sydney will get 50%, Titans will get 50% at Gold Coast. And then they would still find that most of their audience and most of their population and the support are coming from North Sydney. So we'll go to 80-20 North Sydney. Ultimately, effectively pushing the Gold Coast out and getting 100% of the games there, which is what other teams have done. Look at Manly, Northern Eagles kind of stuff. So it's like, I get their perspective, but also fuck their perspective. And they were very disrespectful to the Gold Coast in the mid-2010s, which is why I'll never forgive them. And I don't care what their fans say. Their fans, I don't have a problem with their fans. I don't have a problem with the North City Bears fans. Apparently the Roosters are going to go for the 2 here to make it 36-12. I don't have a problem with North City Bears fans. I think they're passionate, I think they're loyal, and I think they have a great fan base. But their organisation can fuck right off, and I'll never forgive their organisation, because it was disgraceful the way that they tried to take the licence from the Titans and effectively try and push it to North Sydney. It obviously didn't happen because the NRL said no. You know why? Because they knew exactly what was happening. That's why I have such passion. I hate the North Sydney Bears organisation more than the Broncos. I hate the North Sydney Bears organisation more than Manchester United. There is no organisation that I hate more than that absolute scumbag organisation, North Sydney. So that's why. That's why I have such a passionate response to it, because the Gold Coast nearly lost our team because of these idiots. So you'll see a lot more of a passionate response when we see them playing. North Sydney can have our license, so. And you can merge with them if you can. You can merge from Illawarra and St. George to North Sydney. So the North Sydney Illawarra Dragons. How about that? Okay, no, so again, Seth Ryder, we're aware that Balmain has a major stake. We're aware, but we were talking about... how far behind are you? We were saying who has the main stake, and the main stake we believe is with West, and Balmain have a significant stake. We know Balmain have a major stake, but how far behind are you? We spoke about this before. That's why I say I want Perth to have its own team. I wish Perth would have its own team. Because I guarantee you in 3 to 5 years' time, North Sydney are going to argue that the crowds are not good enough there and they want to bring majority to North Sydney Oval. I guarantee you. Remember these words. Remember these words. Because they are just that team that will constantly just say, we want to be back in the comp. And it's like, I get that. I know that they've been out of the comp and they're a historical team, and I understand all that perspective. But regardless if they fail, regardless if people don't want them in, regardless, whatever, the point of the matter is that Bears are continuously just to get back in. And I don't think they ultimately want a partnership with a team, but the NRL is never going to give another Sydney team just a straight-up license. Oh, Roosters going to score again. Roosters going to score again. Oh, no, it's going to be Fitzhale knock on. You're very aware. You're very aware, Jay, why that needs to happen. Yeah, I know you're very aware. United Sucks says, nope, just let them take our spot completely. Fair enough. That Nwanga Tuasa is just trying to flick it back, and it actually hit the head of Gutho. So this should be a dropout. Yeah, this should be. You don't need to challenge it, though, because the bunker's going to look at this anyway, because it ends up going into the in goal. But this is going to be a dropout, so the captain's challenge should be successful here. It should be successful. So close from Scrabble. Dearie me. A good friend of mine, Matty Georges, he's like best mates with Mark. Sorry, I'm so angry right now. Mate, I get the feeling. Don't worry, I've been where you've been. I've been where you've been, buddy. I've been where you've been. Many a time. This is thrown backwards from Nwanga Tuasa, and it comes off Gutho's head. Oh, no! But then it bounces off Gutho's head into Nwanga Tuasa's arm. They haven't said it yet, but if you... After the head, it does hit his arm. So this is going to be a knock-on. Yeah. Yeah, there you go. He throws it back, and then off the Gutho's head into the arm, and then it's a knock-on. Yeah. Yeah, correct. Brenton Essex says there will be a Bears-Titans rivalry when they come back. I don't know how many Titans fans have the same passionate response I do, but I can tell you right now that I will hate the Bears. But then again, like, I don't hate Perth, and that's the hard thing, right? I actually want Perth to come in. I like the Perth thought process, and I won't... I don't know. It's a very difficult one. If North Sydney had its own pure license, there would be no team in the world across any sport that would hate more than that organisation, not the fans. But I don't have that. I don't have a dislike for Perth at all. You know, I would love to go over there and visit and get around it. But I guarantee after a couple of years, like it might rise up a bit. Yeah. It's like for people who don't understand where I'm coming from. Imagine your team is vulnerable, and another team comes in to try and take away your license and basically take the piss out of your franchise and your club that you're so passionate you love. And they try and take your club away from you and leave nothing for you to support, and they just expect you to come and support them. It's like taking over country in a way. You know, you go, a country comes and goes into your country and just takes you over. You know, and then you're expected to kind of like be with that. Oh man, it makes me so angry what they tried to do. What's wrong with Burley? What are you talking about? What are you talking about? What's wrong with Burley? Burley's beautiful. There's nothing wrong with Burley. What? How Perth have a team over a second New Zealand team, that was ludicrous. Don't agree with you. I don't agree with all. I think that the second New Zealand team is very important. Roosters to get the ball at the 30. I think a second New Zealand team is very important in Christchurch Christchurch. But that doesn't mean that I think that it's not as important as going domestic with Perth, because that makes it a national game. Right now, you could barely say it's a national game. They're just all East Coast. There's literally no teams that aren't on the East Coast of Australia. So how is it the national game? It's an international game because we've got New Zealand, now we've got Papua New Guinea. But it's a necessity to bring in Perth effectively. Roosters right hand side, 5 out, knock on. Dragons ball, 0 tackle, will be first at the 10. United Sucks, yeah, that would piss me off. I get why you hate them. You're a Dragons fan. You got similarities there, but it's just that one team hasn't tried to, like, Illawarra hasn't tried to say, hey, St. George, we're not playing at Cogger anymore, when we only want to play at Wollongong. And St. George haven't said, hey, Steelers, we're going to screw you off, and we're going to take the Wollongong games away and just go 100% here at Cogra. And as someone was saying before, it's that like St. George have a extremely, if not pretty much all of the stake. So they could ultimately try to like make that push. I don't know enough internal stuff with the St. George and whatnot, so I don't think it's even a thought process. But the point of the matter is that that's effectively what North Sydney were ultimately trying to achieve. Burleigh bears his meaning, but what's Burleigh got to? Oh, okay. So he thinks that we're talking about Burleigh. We're talking about North Sydney. So knock on even the Roosters. We're talking about North Sydney Bears. Trent Loiero. I love Burleigh. I played for the Burleigh Bears in the juniors. David says, what about a second team in Melbourne? No way. No way. One, Melbourne haven't had to prove themselves fan base-wise because they've always been successful. Also, two, there's not enough appetite for it. Most people in Victoria don't even care about the Storm whatsoever. They literally don't. Like, all the people I know there just don't really give a shit. They're all AFL fans. But Melbourne will still get some people going there, but they're very successful. So it's like when they're not successful, so it's a no try. When they're not successful, that's when we'll see what the Storm fan base is actually like. I know some passionate Storm fans, like some true Storm fans, like Sally, who's one of my oldest subscribers here. One of my first subscribers on the channel was Sally Gearing. But she's still around. She actually messaged me the other day to check in that I wasn't in that terrorist attack thing in Kashmir. But the point is that, no, the second Melbourne team is not necessary at all right now. Perth is necessary. I'm okay with Papua New Guinea. I just have concerns about the financial situation long term. Second New Zealand team is extremely important, and then they're probably going to go for the Western Brisbane team, a Western Corridor Brisbane team, because there's enough appetite in the southeast Queensland area. Yeah, Ball Collector, I agree. I'm okay at this point to concede the three other teams as being PNG, Western Bears, but the third should be a South Island New Zealand team. Anyone have any ideas to a better fit than those at these points? Well, I've been arguing for many, many years now. If it was me choosing, I would have gone Christchurch immediately. I would have gone Christchurch before Papua New Guinea, I probably would have gone Perth first, but Christchurch definitely next, because no one can tell me that wouldn't be one of the biggest and best rivalries in the game with Auckland versus Christchurch. Knock on there from the Dragons. So it's going to be Roosters Sport the 20. Auckland versus Christchurch. North Island versus South Island. That'll rile them all up. Rugby is very vulnerable right now in Super Rugby and also internationally in New Zealand. The Warriors are getting massive crowds. They're selling out. And when the Warriors aren't doing well, the South Island will always say that's the Auckland Warriors, not the New Zealand Warriors. So they're already kind of hesitant to really kind of bite all in, but they'll jump on the bandwagon when necessary, which everyone does, right? So there wouldn't be... I think that would probably become the best rivalry in the game. I think it really would. And the Roosters are away. It's another try coming up. Another try's coming up. Inside. James Tedesco knocked on. Damn, it was a 2-on-1. Unfortunately, he knocked it on. Yeah, Tedesco wasn't expecting that ball because no one passes him the ball. No one passes him the ball and they score underneath the post. So he probably wasn't expecting the pass to come. Negan says rugby is trash. I don't think it's as good as it once was, but I still like it. I like every sport, though, to be fair. Jared Futmoni says, I feel like even if the Perth Bears thing doesn't work, the same thing will happen when the Northern Eagles happen and they'll side with Perth and North Sydney will relegate again. Only time will tell. Hey, Jared Futmoni, from your mouth to God's ears, bro. Like, if North Sydney got kicked out of the competition again, I'd be very happy. I'd celebrate on the channel. I'll pop champagne here on a live stream. David says, I know it isn't feasible financially or supporter-wise, but a Hobart-based team would be sick. Hobart away would make for a fun weekend, and Tasmanians would have never seen so much melanin before. Hey, listen, I agree with you that it would be fun. I also agree with you that's not going to happen, and it's not possible. Tasmania's getting an AFL team. It's just, Tasmania's not possible. Darwin is an interesting conversation. I don't think it works financially. I don't think it does, but then again, I don't think Papua New Guinea does, but Papua New Guinea also has international backing. But Darwin would also be... We would effectively take over Northern Territory. 6 again here. 6 again for the Dragons. They go to the right-hand side. And they're 5 metres away from the line on... Oh, it wasn't 6 again. Oh, they've called penalty here for the Dragons. That was really, really weird. They stripped it on fit tackle. Are you crazy, Roosters? I don't know what just happened. Todd Smith was doing this, and then it was still fit. So he must have been doing this, but he must have just like moved his arm. I don't know what's happening. Sunshine Coast team is just not going to happen. There's not enough of a population up there, man. Sunshine Coast don't care enough. Sunshine Coast is chill, man. Sunshine Coast is where you go to retire. They're not going to bring a rugby league team in. Valentine Holmes will be taken down to the 8. Take a couple of games there to Sunshine Coast Stadium, sure. But honestly, the Dolphins should call themselves Sunshine Coast or Moreton Bay to represent that area. That's what the Dolphins should do. Because they're obviously not going to be called Redcliffe, so call yourself Sunshine Coast, call yourself Moreton Bay, call yourself North Brisbane if you really want to, or East Brisbane. I don't care. Give yourself a name. Third tackle. But I think that the Sunshine Coast is great because then that kind of represents that area, but they can still play out of Redcliffe and they can still play out of Suncorp and also Sunshine Coast Stadium. And I think that'd be cool, but there's no way you add another team up there. Dragons, 2 minutes out of the line. 10 minutes to go to the game, guys. 10 minutes to go. Hit that like button and subscribe. Don't forget, right after this, we have the Warriors versus the Knights game. Right after this, we have the Warriors Knights, and it'll be a dropout here from the Roosters. Yeah, the game starts in 25 minutes' time. Where is it? You're not far wrong. I will hate that Christchurch team. I think that now you don't realise how much you will hate that team, but when they come in, you'll really hate them. Yeah, that's like the Dolphins. I didn't think I'd really care for the Dolphins, but I'm not a big fan. Right hand side, I've seen that the Ipswich Jets want in, but I feel like that would be just too many teams in a small area like Sydney. I think that their next option will probably go to the Western Corridor. Yeah, I think that they'll go Perth. I think they'll... if they're going to go Perth... So I think they'll go Perth. I think they've got Papua New Guinea in. I do think that New Zealand South Island team will happen. So then Western Corridor Brisbane won't get in for a very long time. They won't add more teams in for like 20 years. Minimum. Over the top here to the wings. Sione Finau. And Finau will get taken down 4 metres out. Third tackle. Seb Watson says, might not have been the best decision not to use Sandon Smith in my super coach. Sandon's been really good today. He's been incredible. Dragons, 4th tackle, David Clemmer, 10 metres out. The Uluru Drop Bears, Rugby League FC. Great team. Out, you see, you want Alice Springs to have a team. It's an interesting place. And knock on there from the Dragons. Hayden says, it's hard to get another team in New Zealand financially. Disagree. Would love another team there, but they need a big dog with deep pockets to make something happen. Disagree. Why do you say that? On what basis do you say that? What's your basis for that? Papua New Guinea is not a first world nation. So that's why we have concerns about their financials. We don't have concerns about Perth financials. The only thing that we have concerns about is Darwin, but that's like very different. Perth is a major city. Christchurch is a major city in a first world nation. Why do you say that they don't have the financials? He says New Zealand can ask China for the cash, but I don't understand why. They're financially able to... They've got multiple rugby union teams. They also do have multiple bids for Christchurch. As we spoke about the other week, they've got multiple bids for Christchurch. So I don't understand why there's a concern financially for South Island New Zealand when they are very well able to financially support... who's the Super Rugby team there? Is it Crusaders? No. Who's the Christchurch team? That's a knock on there. Christchurch Super Rugby team. Is it Crusaders or no? Yeah, it is the Crusaders. I was right. One of the most successful teams... the most successful team in rugby union history in the Southern Hemisphere is the Crusaders from Christchurch. So I don't understand what you're talking about. David says, a Darwin-based team must have in its stipulations that they're to have the Northern Territory Tourism slogan as their shirt sponsor, I see you in the NT on their jerseys like they've got on TV would be absolute jokes. So I believe that was banned, wasn't it? Didn't Australia ban that? Which is so bullshit. Like, that's such an awesome advert. NRL says, yo, Dragons suck. Yeah, thank you for your opinion, man. 36-12 is not great, but also the Dragons are still well above the Roosters on the ladder. So the Leilua will be 6 again, 30 metres away from the line. Do the Moana Pacifica and the Super Rugby only play out home games in one area or multiple? I don't really watch a great deal of Moana Pacifica, man, so I can't really give you that idea. I think they play out of Auckland, though, don't they, Sam? I think they play out of Auckland, and they obviously represent Samoa, Tonga, and technically Fiji, but not really, because Fiji have the Fijian Drua. But it's like, if Fiji can financially sustain, third tackle of the Dragons, 5 away. If Fiji can financially sustain the Fijian Drua playing out of Lautoka, Suva, Singotoka, these places, right? Why is Christchurch not able to financially sustain? So that's going to be a try there for the Dragons. Right underneath, it'll be Tyrell slowing onto the post. It'll be 36-16 with the kit to come, make it 36-18. And they'll help you out there, Brenton. There you go. The Knights still have a better points differential than the Roosters. You should be happy with that try. You know what sucks is bring a team in from Antarctica. Yeah, we're thinking about sending the Dragons there. When's the Bali team get in? Bali's not as popular for Australians as it used to be, man. I would say Australians are more... I'd say a lot more Australians are going like Vietnam now. Vietnam's very popular. That's where I'm going to go after my Thailand fitness trip. Justin says, Buller Brother, is Couchman an Origin contender? Absolutely not. Absolutely no. Who does Couchman even play for? But I wouldn't put him in either team. Maybe down the track, but not now. What about a South Australia Northern Territory team? Sephra, I've got to ask you this question, man. Are you involved in this conversation? Like, are you actually listening to what I'm saying? Because I spoke about a Darwin team for like 10 minutes before, bro. South Australia, Adelaide Rams used to be a team, so we didn't speak about South Australia, so that's fine. My question comes down to the Northern Territory, because we literally spoke about Darwin before, so that's why I say, are you involved in this conversation? Are you listening to the words that are coming out of my mouth? I would love a Darwin team to come in. I don't think they're financially stable. But you would dominate Northern Territory in a 50-50 battleground state, really, for NRL and AFL. But South Australia, Adelaide Rams used to be a team. Would love to see them there, but I just don't think it's in the NRL's plans anytime soon. The Roosters don't have Joey Leilua's brother, therefore Dargan's better than the Roosters. Dargan's better than the Roosters. Hey, listen, it makes sense. And now I feel like a Sprite. I don't know why. Did someone say Sprite in the chat? No, they didn't. I don't know why. I've just had a really big desire for Sprite. I'll get a Sprite. I'll walk upstairs in between streams. All right, so the Dragons on the 30. We second tackle, get the offload away. And now we'll also get the ball to Grassy McGrass. Back in the game. Hits the grass to the Dragons. Knock on. So Roosters ball. Bali is too expensive now for what it is. Vietnam has the old Bali vibes. Cheap grog, good cheap food, and better natural tourism. Sure, I will say I had a conversation. So I've got a friend of mine here, Gabrielle, who's Italian. And we were talking about this last night. Like, Vietnam is cheaper than India in some aspects. And India is very cheap in other aspects. But I'd say they're the two cheapest countries in Asia. Those two. But obviously people don't have a desire to come to India because of the stereotypes. And it's like some of them are absolutely correct and some of them are absolutely incorrect. India is a tough country to come to, though. I did just drink a Sprite as well. Sprite for the win. Well, I feel like a Diet Coke. Well, no, I don't feel like it now. I feel like a Sprite. But I want Diet Coke as well, but they don't have anything. They don't have it here at the moment. Japan's good too. It is very good hungry. I would love to go to Japan. But one, it's already extremely expensive. And two, they're adding in a tourist tax next year. So it's already extremely expensive for country Japan, but next year they're adding more on top for a tourist tax. So you're right, Japan's amazing, but you know, India's not for first-time traveller. You're spot on, David. Spot on, mate. Because the people, first-time travellers will go to Delhi, they'll go to Agra, they'll go to Jaipur, they'll go to Mumbai. Those places are not necessarily the places you should go. Udaipur is amazing, dude. This place is incredible. Roosters, Tedesco, try time in the corner. 40-18 with the kit to come. And Brenton, guess what? You're back below the Roosters in points differential. So you are now below the Roosters. Cambodia, Davo, they work on USD. So I'm pretty certain it's quite expensive there. But then again, I can't really speak on that. I haven't been there yet. But they use USD. They use US dollars. That's an Origin caliber knock-on right there. Knock-on from Grassy. Not a knock-on from Grassy, said Watson, but Grassy did touch the ball, yeah. Yeah, it was. And that, my friends, is 40 friggin' 40. Actually, is this the same score as last night right now? 40-18? If they get this kick, the Roosters, the same score. It'll be 42-18 and 42-18 across the first two games. But no, India is not for first-time traveller. But it takes you a good couple of weeks, and then you appreciate. As long as you're not sick, you get to appreciate it eventually. You should ask Jay. Like, I messaged him like 2 weeks ago saying, this is fucked. Like, I'm not having fun because I was really sick, and it was a lot. I messaged Jay. I was just like, man, this is just too much. But now it's good. But it's because you go to different a different place. This is like on the lakes. It's a lot cleaner here. Going to Japan next year. Enjoy, said Watson. You're about to lose your wallet. Not physically, but mentally. Jared 5 minutes says, have you found a good head massage? Okay. Oh my gosh, dude. So Sam Smith here, it's a hard kick from the right-hand sideline. There's so many ASMR massage places that look like they would feel amazing in India, I mean. Okay, so Jared, I'm going to really clarify for you here, man. Head massage here is not necessarily what you think. But you seem very innocent with your comment. So Roosters will... Oh, he screwed it. It will be 40-18. Please get a penalty, Roosters, so we have 2 scores exactly the same. But, Jared, I know what you're referring to, but just know this country isn't exactly innocent. Like Tyler, it's not like Tyler. Tyler's very different. But although it's very conservative, there's a lot of places that are not conservative. And massages aren't massages. I wonder how Trademark Sports is filming the scoreline. Yeah, Tyson's a good dude, man. I'm good friends with Tyson. He's a good bloke. He's very similar to me in a lot of ways. With like this. United Sucks says, no, she will understand. Oh no, what's happening? You're 15, Aguero. Mum won't let you drink. To be fair, the way he spells a lot of the time, I feel like his mum lets him drink. At the ripe old age of 15. So second tackle in for the Roosters at their own 25. Don't forget, is it 15 minutes time? I'll be live for the next game. Yeah, in 10 minutes time I'll be live for the Warriors Knights. From Christchurch. Please be a good game. That's all I ask. Be a good game, because otherwise it's going to be a dribble watching the Knights for, yeah. Roosters out of the right. Underneath. That's a try. That's a try. That's a try. That's a try. That's a try out of the post. And it'll be 44-18 when they get to come. I don't think they can hit 50, but they're going to get very, very close and blue ball the absolute living shit out of us. So 44-18 when they get to come. Hugo Savala will score his first try in the NRL, and the final score, I would assume, will be 46-18. Okay, Jay. The halves for the Roosters, they've been very good. You've got to be impressed with Hugo Savala and definitely Sandon Smith today. Savala didn't start off well. I thought he was trying too hard and it wasn't going to plan. But I think it took a lot of pressure off him as the Roosters were able to take it away in this game. Condor says, Knights will just drop the ball. Hey, I've been saying this the whole stream, man. I beg. I really, really beg that it's a half-decent game. Oh, the time's going to stop, is it? No, it's not. What do you call a good game, Blaze? 66-6? Yeah. Yeah, that's why I call that a fantastic game. I watched it again. I watched it again and again and again. You want to watch some highlights with me right now, Adam? You want me to put the highlights on here? Of that Titans game 66. Who did they play again last year? When the Titans won 66-6. I think it was the same team they beat 27-24 the same year. Away from home. 66-6 was at home. I'm trying to figure out who that team was. Yeah. Damn. I think it rhymes with Brew-Reeland or something like that. The Brew-Reeland Dories. I think that's what it rhymes with. Jared 5 minutes says, damn it, Adam, why'd you remind us of that? Adam is a Warriors fan, so I don't know why he brought that up, to be fair. I don't know why he brought that up. Yeah, I believe a cricket score on the cards against the Bunnies. Yes, but that would also prove this season completely incorrect, because I would have said going into this game the Roosters are the underdogs based off of the stats, based off of the team positions on the ladder, based off of so many more factors. I tipped the Roosters as the underdogs in my head, and then the chat told me the Dragons were the underdogs and the Roosters were favourites, which makes no sense. The Roosters were last coming to this game. The Roosters coming off the back of a 40-point flogging by the Panthers last week. The Roosters had lost multiple games in a row. I know they beat the Broncos the week before. The Dragons, on the other hand, they were 7th position, coming to the back of beating Manly. I have no idea how the Dragons were underdogs, but either way, I took the Roosters. They win 46-18, guys. I'm going to jump off because I'll see you in 5 minutes' time for the next game, which is the New Zealand Warriors taking on the New Zealand Knights. As we say at the back end and also the beginning, happy ANZAC Day. God bless our beautiful country of Australia and God bless the beautiful country of New Zealand. We will see you in 5 minutes' time for the next game. Hit that like button. Subscribe for new around here. Fire up 66-6. Adam Smart loves it. So, thanks for watching. Catch you later. See ya!